Welcome back, everyone. I have to sit up straighter. We have a lot of the spoilers to get through, so I hope you have your favorite beverage within arm's reach. Because it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take quite a while. And also, some of the cards we've already seen, I've already spoiled them. But now that the entire set is out, I want to maybe even make a re-evaluation of some cards that might have become better with the set. Some might even have become worse. We'll see. We'll see. Also, I think my ideas about some cards were a little bit off. Didn't really understand how some of the cards worked and stuff like that. So let's have a look at those cards again, and also have a look at all the new cards, because yes, we have all the cards now for Horde Spark. And what is more fitting to begin with than Deliver Unto Evil? Love the art, by the way. This seems to be the same guy which drew all the Rite of Bells and Lock and all those cards. What is his name? Can we see it? McKinnon. Yeah, I think that's the guy. He always has amazing art. I really love the old art, by the way. As you can see, also have it in the background here. You know which card it is? Of course you know. It's Underground Sea. It's quite obvious, but yeah, I really love those old style cards. That kind of little bit gothic art, more old style. Yeah, I really love the art. By the way, we should probably read the card. This is gonna take forever. So, choose up to 4 target cards in your graveyard. If you control a Bolas Planeswalker, return those cards to your hand. Otherwise, an opponent chooses 2 of them. Leave the chosen cards in your graveyard and put the rest into your hand. Choose up to 4. This is actually interesting. The thing is, it says up to 4. So you can just choose 2 cards and your opponent will be forced to give you those 2 cards. So it's, in the worst case, it's a find. If you have a Bolas, it's 2 finds. The question is, do you ever have that many creatures that Deliver Unto Evil will actually return 4 cards, even if you have Bolas? And also, do you want to run Bolas alongside many creatures? That's the question. It's a question of deck building, not really of, is this card strong? This card could be strong. I mean, returning 4 cards is quite a swing if you have managed to get it off. The problem is the deck building around this card. I don't think there's any deck, because Bolas fits more in a control style deck. It's not really an aggro Bolas. Maybe I'm gonna be wrong. Maybe there's gonna be aggro Grixis all over, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, on a black guy didn't know, didn't know about the Grixis aggro." Maybe. If that's the case, then this card will fit perfectly. Otherwise, I think the problem is that it's this would be better in other colors, which, you know, weirdly enough. I mean, you could do this. No, I mean, you need to have Bolas with this, so you can't play it in anything else than Grixis. So, yeah. Next card. Demolish. 3 colorless, 1 red. Destroy target artifact or land. Mentioned this earlier. This is probably only going to be played in a land destruction deck, if ever. And I don't know, maybe Ali Eldrazi will play something like this. He usually likes land destruction. Next card, the Spark. This is the very end game of the lore here. What happens here is Bolas is getting killed by blue dudes, which shoots lightning something. Exile target permanent with convert mana cost 4 or greater. I love that it's uncommon, by the way. They could easily have printed this as a rare and just we want more monies. 1 white, 1 black. Liliana whispered to whatever consciousness Oketra and Bontu had left. You are the gods. He's the usurper. You know what to do. Well played, Liliana. Well played. It's an instant. That is good. Can deal with a lot of permanents. Does almost nothing against mono red except for killing their experimental frenzy. Does nothing against mono blue. Has no targets in mono blue. Mono white does nothing against mono white. I mean, it's that 1 enchantment which you can convoke. So, I mean, it's a perfect card to have in a Mastermind's acquisition sideboard, but we're gonna see so many cards which are great in a Mastermind's acquisition sideboard. Probably not the problem for a Mastermind's acquisition deck to find the right card. Will this see play? Well, if the meta shifts more towards mid-range. Now the meta game, in my opinion, is very much mid-range. There's almost no mid-range. It's either super aggressive or super controlly, and there's nothing in between. If we shift to a more mid-range kind of style meta game, where there's a lot of cards which actually cost 4, where everyone is not running either 1 or 2 mana stuff. I mean, even the control decks mostly run 1 2 mana stuff, to be fair, so... then maybe this will see play. But right now, it doesn't fit the metagame at all. At all. Yes, as per control, you can kill the Teferi. That's the only thing you can kill. Yeah. Not amazing in the current standard metagame. But the thing is, I think, with all these cards that we see here, and especially with all this lifelink, I would say lifelink is the reason why I think we actually have a chance of seeing some mid-range, because mid-range needs life gain. Like, if you remember Thragtusk, this is like the... In my opinion, everyone's gonna disagree with me, but that's like the mid-range card which you need to make mid-range great. Like, you need something which like gains life, hard to remove, sticks on the board. You need those kind of cards with just big life gain swings and stuff like that. Lyra is kind of there, but not really, because you don't gain any value when you play her, so it's almost there for the mid-range archetype. But with all this lifelink that we see coming in, I think it's gonna shift to maybe more mid-range stuff, and we also have a lot of tools, but I'm afraid we don't have enough tools to deal with control. That's my... that's the problem. I think we might lack uncounterable stuff against them. And stuff to deal with their hand, so... But we'll see. Devouring Hellion, 2 colors, 1 red. As Devouring Hellion enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures and or planeswalker. If you do, it enters the battlefield with twice that many +1/+1 counters on it. Oh yeah, I talked about this earlier. Have I seen that many creatures that you want to sacrifice to this? Not really. Not really. But it could work. It could work in maybe a Rakdos Aristocrat style deck. It could work. Because it's very nice to get twice the number of +1/+1 counters on it. You can make it into a very big dude. The problem is it doesn't have any evasion. If it is a trample, then I would be more feeling like this could make an impact. But I'm without trample, I'm probably just gonna get chump blocked, in my opinion. So, next card. Menace. Divine Arrow. 1 colors, 1 white. Divine Arrow deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. There's so many cards. This is just for limited. Domri, Anarch of Bolas. I'm happy we have the actual beautiful art here. We had this card spoiled before, but the resolution was scheiss. If you're German, you know what I said there. You probably know if you know English, because it's so similar to English as well. 1 colors, 1 red, 1 green. Creatures you control get +1/+0. This is why I think this card will get played. Because it's an Anthem effect for 3, and I mean, most Anthem effects for 3 see play anyways. And this just adds some gravy on top here. You can get mana from it, and they can't be countered. That has really turned out that it wasn't really that necessary. We've seen that already. We already have an enchantment with Justice, which is almost no play. Almost no play, so... I mean, the early creatures, the problem is they're probably getting mortified, or they're getting killed in some way, so not really necessary to give them can't be counted usually. I mean, it's good. It's absolutely good. But I don't think that's what... I think the plus ability, what's good about it is that it gives mana. So it can buff you. You play this on 3, next turn you drop a land, then you can put a 5-drop down on your turn 4, which is a big swing. And that also gains all your creatures gets +1. So just imagine Domri with like a Siege Gang Commander, for instance. Turn 3, Domri. Turn 4, Siege Gang Commander, and all your tokens all have +1/+0. And they need to deal with like both your Domri and all your tokens. That's quite good. Quite amazingly good. -2, target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. That is just a bonus good ability. fighting stuff we've seen in the past, that fighting rarely works. Is there any fight card that has ever been played to any greater extent? No, not really. I mean, it's good sometimes. It's very good that it has that ability. So in those very weird cases where it does work, fight is actually amazing when it does work. So I'm very happy that it has that minus ability, and that gives it even more flexibility. So yeah, I'm convinced this will see play. Very much convinced. How many will you play though? Do you dare play more than one? Because this guy would probably stick around forever. No, kind of a threat, but I don't know. Maybe two. Maybe two is the proper amount of Domris. Domris Ambush is the next card. 1 red and 1 green. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. So here we have... we already have a card like this, where they deal damage equal to the power to a planeswalker, a creature or planeswalker. That's instant speed though. I think that instant speed is better than sorcery speed. So I don't see this being better. Having the +1 counter may be relevant, but I doubt it. If you have other synergies with +1/+1 counters in your deck, then maybe this is the card you prefer over that instant speed, but otherwise just instant speed is better. It's not only instant speed, it also has another side where you can create a 4/4 if you don't have any creatures, so yeah. The only problem with this card is that there's a better card. What do we say with this? Dovin's Hand of Control. And Control, I thought we would say. Okay, 2 colors, 1 white/blue. Artifact, instant, and sorcery spells your opponent cast, 1 more to cast. Okay. Makes all their counters more expensive. Really screws with the Drake's deck quite a lot. If we put this down, they will cry a million tears. Because it also has 5 loyalty. I think if you play this versus Drakes, you just never use the minus ability. You just put this down and yeah, deal with this guy. Deal with 5 loyalty. That is amazing against Drakes, honestly. -1. Until your next turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to and dealt by target permanents and opponent control. Also great against Drake's deck. Yeah. Anti-Drake's Dovin? Do you put him in though? Do you put him in the Mastermind sideboard again? You want this guy main deck? It's basically only good against the Drakes and Gates. It's essentially what it's good against. Nah, I don't know. I don't know about Dovin. I like you, Dovin, but man, you're very only good against 1 or 2 decks, so... Maybe against their Amass decks he will also be amazing, because he can prevent that big Amass token that they have from ever dealing damage. If Amass becomes a thing, and Drakes become a thing, I mean, it's already a thing, but if it becomes more of a thing, maybe Dovin. Don't really see this guy being... Oh, Dovin's Vida, though. Dovin's Vida. I mean, everyone's gonna hate this card eventually, sure. Sure, but it's just an upgrade and negate for the Gates deck, for my Gates deck more specifically, or for many decks. If you play white and blue, this is amazing. You win any counter war. You can just shit on Esper control. Yeah, this will make it so my Gates deck has even better. I mean, that's kind of has had 2 weaknesses before. It's mono blue and Esper control, which I think Esper control something like a 50-50 for that deck. And mono blue, I probably lost most of the games against mono. And this card can actually swing that around a lot. a lot. I mean, you either play this to counter the Teferi against an Esper deck, or you have a sweeper like Gates Ablaze, and then you play Dovin's V2 and counter their counter. It's not super good in a counter war though, because you can just play another counter. So it's much better against Esper control. It's very good against Esper control. Now that I think about it, it's amazing against them. Also, you can play this in a creature deck, and then like a Bant deck, and just, oh, you're gonna play Wrath? Well, that's not gonna happen. That's not ever gonna happen. Silly Esper control. Yeah, this will see play. 1,000,000%. And it will also see play in other formats. It will see play in Modern. It will see play in Legacy. It will see play everywhere. I'm happy that it's in Uncommon. For all you paper players out there, at least. I mean, Arena also. It's not fun to play, you know, spend rare cards on this. And have an abundance of uncommon wildcards. And yes, I will create this immediately. It's that good. It's 10 out of 10 good. It's simply amazing. And also good against control. The more I think about it, it's amazing against Espers. Maybe it's so good. Maybe it's so good. Esper won't be... No, can't be that good. It's amazing. Anyway, next card. Dread Horde Arcanist. So many good cards. So many good cards. One colorless, one red. I'm honestly a little bit surprised on the power level of this guy. Honestly, a little bit surprised. Now that I read him again. Now that it's not in German. Now that it's not a Zauberer. I think it's amazing. Whenever Dreadhorde Arcanist attacks, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost less than or equal to Dreadhorde's Arcanist power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. I didn't even think about that it's without paying it. Okay, if that card will put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So we think about, we have a Snapcaster Mage, which can do this one time. It is instant speed, so I mean, it's never gonna be... I mean, it's close to Snapcaster Mage. Honestly, it's close to Snapcaster Mage. It's very close to that good, in my opinion. Because in many formats, like Legacy and Modern at least, you can have everything cost 1. It's not such a big deal, and this will just Snapcaster every time it attacks. It's amazing. It's simply amazing. And you can even do this in Standard to a lesser extent, but with some cards, we're gonna see, they're gonna cost 1. It would be amazing! Yeah, this card is just another 10 out of 10. One of the most powerful cards in the set. I don't know if it's even to the point where they will have to ban this. Most notably, this will definitely see play in Jund. There's a Jund list floating around already. Especially on the Reddits, people have been talking about this. You put this with like shocks and things which buff, and that's the other Dreadhorde guy, Dreadhorde Butcher or something, I don't remember what it's called. And that guy, if you buff him up, you can do like turn 3 kills and stuff like that. So I definitely see this guy getting played, and especially in that deck. But probably in more decks. I mean, honestly, it's such a strong card. It's probably gonna see play many decks. Also, it's amazing if you get something like Domra down. Have Domra down this turn. Turn 1 you play Shock, for instance, on their face. Turn 2 you play Dreadhorde Arcanist. Turn 3 you play Domri. Attack in, and then you can turn 4 play something for 2 and play that card 2 times. Just seems absolutely bonkers. I mean, for instance, let's say you have... What do you want? I mean, like a Wild Growth. Wild Growth, what's it called? +3/+3. And you have it in your graveyard, and you attack in... You buff your Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then you play it again from your graveyard. So it becomes +6, so it deals 7 damage. Just that by itself, yeah. Just amazing, just amazing. Next card, yeah. Here's the guy I'm talking about, Dreadhorde Butcher. This is the guy which kind of supports the archetype even more. If it was not enough with the Dreadhorde Arcanist, you get this guy. Haste, 1/1. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on Dreadhorde Butcher. That doesn't matter too much, in my opinion. In my opinion, what makes this guy good... I mean, it's very good. It is good, but the second ability is the shiz here. When Dreadhorde Butcher dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So this means that if you buff this up and thud it, for instance, which is another 1-mana card, yes, you can kill them on turn 3. This Collision Colossus, thud, 21 damage. Take that, Gates. No, not Gates. Not Gates. We're slow, but we're nice people. Next card, Dreadhorde Invasion. This is kind of the card which enables the amass decks to work, in my opinion. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and you amass 1, so it's kind of a Bitter Blossom, worse version though. Every time you lose your token, you'll get it back, so that's good. So that's kind of Bitter Blossomy, and you lose 1 life, but it doesn't have flying. It only produces 1, you can't get multiples. It will always stay as 1, but it will buff that up again and again. Whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink at title turn. This clause is what I think kind of hammers it home with this card. I wasn't convinced when I first looked at it. I thought maybe the Amass archetype isn't fully supported, but now that I've seen all the Amass cards, I think yes. The Amass is fully supported, and this card will definitely be included. And the second clause is very, very relevant, because there are a lot of things which can instantly buff up your token to power 6, attack in, and just swing the game. I mean, against mono red, if you had red or invasion, you just need one swing. One swing for 7 life, and it's very, very hard for them to recover. That's why I also think that the mono reds will always, they will have to run Tybalt. There's so much sources of lifelink in this set. I'm very happy that there are, by the way, but that will make it so that they will definitely run Tybalt. We'll get to Tybalt soon, though. Next card. Dread Horde Twins. 3 colors, 1 red. When Dread Horde Twins enters the battlefield, amass 2. Zombie tokens you control have trample. This is the most amazing... No, it's just for limited. Next card. Dread Malkin. Wow, this is bad resolution, by the way. Sure. 1 black Menace. The zombie cat. 2 and colors, sacrifice another creature or planeswalker, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Dread Malkin. I have created a deck which you will not have seen yet, where I play an aggressive black deck with a Menace 1/1 already. That card has, you can play 3 colorless. And kick 3 colorless kicker and do the same thing, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Is this better than that? I mean, it's a zombie. It is a zombie. So maybe we can build a zombie deck with this. Maybe. The problems with the zombies have always been that they did not have enough zombies. There weren't enough in the set to actually make zombies into a legit thing. But it's a good, I mean, it's a good 1-mana card in a zombie deck. We already have Diregraph Ghoul, and this can make it so that we have 2 zombies in the 1-drop slot, which is kind of what you need. If you're doing an aggressive deck, you always want that one drop. And then it gets buffed when you get your Lord down. And then at some point, you might use the ability. Unlikely. I would have liked the ability to be a little bit stronger. They put 2 +1 counters. But this might see play in zombies, now that I think about it. Might see play there, but borderline. It's not that the card itself is amazing, it's more that the creature type is right, and it's aggressive card which suits the zombies, I think so. Next card. Dusk Mental Operative. 1 colors, 1 black. Dusk Mental Operative can't be blocked by creatures with power 4 or greater. Should we guess what this is for? I would say the limiteds. Next card. Leet Guard Mage. Leet! Wow! Wow, we're already just having read the name here. We're expecting a lot from this guy. 2 colors, 1 white, 1 blue. That's expensive. Okay, flying. What do we get for this? A 2/3. But then battlefield, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Oh, that's actually not the worst. That's actually not the worst. Would think this card would be worse, but it is not. I mean, certainly no Thragtusk. It's certainly not. 1 mana off being Thragtusk mana. Always compared to that card. I know that card was broken, yes, but sure. Is good enough to see play? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It is very good. Gain 3 life and draw cards. You essentially get a revitalize. Called revitalize, right? I think it's called that. The 1 colors, 1 white, and you get a 2/3 body. The thing is, the 2/3 body is irrelevant. That's the problem with this card. So 4 mana, yes, it's wizard deck. I mean, compare this to a Bolas. A Bolas is a 4/4 flying, which doesn't gain you life though. That's what this card has up on it. But it discards your opponent's 1 card. It's borderline, but the stats are too horrible. I don't see a 2/3 for 4 being played, honestly. Even though you gain the life and even though you draw a card, so it essentially replaces itself. Oh, the body's a little bit horrible. No, I'm sorry. I mean, the thing is, you can always fool yourself into liking every card, but you have to be a little bit skeptical about the cards. Like, will this actually work? Actually, will you really want to play your elite guard mage over all other 4-drops? No, I don't think so. Next card, Emergency Zone. Add 1 colorless and 1 colorless. Sacrifice Emergency Zone. You may cast spells this turn as though they had flash. I talked about this card last time, and I think that the use case I saw it as is a one-of. I don't know if Esper Control can play this as a one-of, because it's quite risky to play this as a one-of, but it's very good to flash in your Teferi at the end of your opponent's turn. That's kind of the safest way. The kind of the problem for Esper Control has always been that they don't really want to put the Teferi into play, even though it untaps 2, I know. It's still kind of, they leave themselves vulnerable by doing that. So maybe one of there. I will probably play this in my Teferi artifacts deck. Maybe one of, maybe a 2 of. So it can flash in Teferi end of your turn or something. Or Teferi. Tesseret, I mean. Did I say Teferi? Ah! Tesseret, of course. Tesseret artifacts. With Karn and everything. That doesn't need all that color mana. Maybe a one of. Maybe. We'll see. Next card. Enforcer Griffin. Next card. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the limited stuff. Also, I'm not I'm not much of a limited player, as you might have guessed. So, if you want the opinions on limited cards, then yes, some limited player. Who should that be? I don't know. Legend VD or something. Check out his channel. He does a lot of limited. Enter the God Eternals. 2 colorless, 2 blue, 1 black. Enter the God Eternals deals 4 damage to target creature, and you gain life equal. Oh, you gain life in black-blue. That's rare. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. Target player puts the top 4 cards of the library into their graveyard. Amass 4. Oh, this is a... What am I target creature? It's a creature removal. I don't get the second part of this, why this is there. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into the graveyard. Why do you want to do that? Reanimate your... No, I don't know. I don't know why the second part is there. I don't see the combo at all. There's nothing else about the Amass which screams either mill or reanimator. Nothing about it. Doesn't suit the deck at all. So I don't know. I don't know why the second class is there. The third part though, Amass 4. Amass 4 is pretty good. So you get a 4/4 for 5. You gain 4 life. Looking like a Thragtusk, isn't it? And you deal 4 damage to something. It's not the worst. Honestly, not the worst. I would have loved that damage to be 5. Because there's a lot of 5 toughness creatures, especially coming. But 4 is good. 4 kills most things. Can probably get away with playing 1 or 2 of this in a mass deck. Easily. I mean, it's very, very good if you think about it. There's so much value in this card. This is like a mini cruel ultimatum or something. Like you gain 4 life, you deal 4 damage, and you get a 4/4. That's a decent deal. It's honestly a decent deal. The problem in the 5 mana slot, you're already competing with Bolas God Pharaoh or whatever he's called. You're probably also playing red with this, so I don't know. I don't know if you can have that many 5 mana cards. Maybe 1. I don't know. But it is a good card. It is a good card, but you can't play too many of them. Also, if your opponent plays a lot of big toughness creatures, you don't want to have a lot of Enter the God Eternals stuck in your hand. So maybe 1 of. Erratic Visionary. 1 colorless, 1 blue. 1 colorless, 1 blue. Draw a card. Yeah, next turn. Eternal Skylord. Okay, we're gonna read this. 4 colors, 1 blue. When it enters the battlefield, amass 2. Summon tokens you control have flying. Well, flying is a really good ability, but for 5 mana, no. Eternal Taskmaster, 1 colors, 1 black. Yes, we've seen this card before. When it attacks, you may pay 2 colors, 1 black. If you do, return target creature card from your hand to your graveyard. Oh, target card from your graveyard to your hand, I mean. Not the other way, that would be horrible. Okay. This card I talked about last time, and I think this card is only... I mean, it's horrible that it costs so much mana. If it would have been 3, or if it would have been 1 mana, or maybe even 2 mana, but it still have been costly at 2 mana. But 3 mana, it's so costly. It's the only thing I could see you do with this is return 1 mana creatures, because then it's like you can keep your army alive for a very long time and just play those 1 mana cards again and again and again and again, and you can do something. You don't want to take up your entire turn by returning 1 thing from your graveyard. That will never be good. So the only thing is like bodyguards and stuff like. But it's nah. I'm sorry. I want to like this card. It's a black card. It's you know, infinite return again and again and again. But the problem is that the card is not super strong by itself. Also, entering tapped is horrible. So in a very specific deck it could work. Very specific. Next card. Evolution Sage. 2 colors, 1 green. Yeah, we saw this already. Whenever land ends the battlefield under your control, Proliferate is of course very, very good with what's it called? There's a land which you can search for a basic land card, because then you get double Proliferate off. I haven't seen anything in the set where double Proliferate will get you mind-blowing results. Still, Proliferate, in my opinion, best with Treasure Map. Best with Treasure Map, because you flip it so fast and get insane mana. So I don't see this card. There's something I'm missing. The body is not super good. It's a 3/2, but it's not horrible. It's an elf druid, but elves don't need Proliferate at all. Not that I've seen. Maybe there's a card. Maybe. Oh, there's one card which, whenever an elf comes into play, you get a plus counter. Then you get 1 mana for each plus count, or for each power or something. If they play fetch land, if they reprint fetch lands or more things like lands which can come into play and do more stuff, then maybe. But as it stands, no, I don't think so. I want to like this card. It's another card I want to like, because it's just, if you can just get the dream hand off. I will definitely build something. Proliferate, of course, but it will probably be not super competitive. Maybe. We'll see. Next card. Philippa the Lost. Yeah, I've already talked a lot about this card. Won't spend too much on this card. I think it's good. The problem is you can't really rely on this guy because it's legendary. So you probably only want 1 in your deck or something. But that's a one-off. It's fine. Next card. Feather the Redeemed. This guy I do love a lot, especially with Resplendent Angel and the thing, what's called? Oh, the 1 mana prevent damage to target and gain 3 life. I'm gonna read this card. Whenever you cast an instance or sorcery spell that targets a creature you control, exile that card instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. If you do, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So I know this is gonna be used. Everyone wants to use this with buffs, but I think that is too gimmicky. What you want to have this with is something like dive downs and stuff, because that makes it irritating as... I mean, the thing is, if you play this and you use this with a buff spell, the problem is that your opponent can just answer with something and kill it. But if you use this to just return your dive downs and the other card which can save it, which I don't remember the name of, the white mana card, then it's very hard for your opponent to get rid of your creatures, and I think that's what you want to do, especially because it combos so well with Resplendent Angel. So yeah, I think in that type of deck it will be simply amazing. Simply amazing. Also, it's, I mean, it's very, very good. It kind of enables Angel Tribal in a way. I mean, Resplendent, this, we have the 4 mana, which makes everything hexproof and Lyra. So there's definitely gonna be a Angel Tribal. It has to be. Would love to see a 2 mana Angel. Or a 1 mana Angel, that would be. I mean, even if it's just a 1/1, nah, probably won't see play. 1/1 Angel for 1 without flying. Without flying, maybe. We'll see play. Finale of Devastation. Okay. Search your library and or graveyard. No graveyard. For a creature card, we convert the mana cost X. I do like that it's and or graveyard. I do like that a lot. Because you might have, when you have a search effect like this, you might have already searched for something. It might already be in your graveyard. We convert the mana cost X or less and put that card onto the battlefield. Yes, that's very good. If you search a library this way, shuffle it. If X is 10 or more, creatures you control get plus X It's not the length of turn. Okay, plus X and haste. Yep. Yep. I mean, 10 or more. Can just win with 10 or more, so. Second class probably not as relevant, but man, this is strong. I mean, we've seen these effects in the past and they've always been strong. Always been strong. Being able to create a toolbox deck where you have like Knight of the, not Knight of Reliquary, that would be amazing. We don't have that card. Knight of Autumn, for instance. It's a very good target for this. You can search for it if you need to remove something. You can have more narrow things, like you can search for your Crawl Harpooner, 4 mana, search for something, remove a flyer. I mean, this is so versatile. So versatile, and there's so many cards. This library for... Oh, it's even a creature card. It doesn't even have to be green. I thought it had to be green. Wow! You can search for any creature of any color. In the past, these cards have usually been a green creature. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, and also graveyard. Yeah, this could probably in by itself enable an entire deck archetype. A toolbox creature deck. That is amazing. Honestly amazing. Yeah, this will, there's so many good cards. And if you're not even limited to having green, what could you do in other colors? I mean, it's a lot of toolbox things you can search for. I mean, you could, sometimes you're gonna maybe just play this for 3 and search for a bodyguard if you have something good out, like a Lyra. And you can also have Lyra. Yes, like 1 Lyra, 1 Carnage Tyrant, 1 Knight of Autumn, 1 Crawl Harpooner, 1 Bodyguard, for instance. That's pretty amazing. Just search for whatever you want, whatever you need. You'll probably want to have something which gives mana. Probably, but I mean in green that's not a problem. You can have Lawn or Elves or something. So that you're able, because it's a little bit steep having to play 2 green and the X. But if you, I mean, green, usually mana is not the problem for them. And having this good of a search card is just amazing. There's so much you can do with this. Not only can you do toolbox, you can do other stuff with this. Yeah, I mean, you can do combos. I mean, it enables every creature combo there is. Yeah, this will see play, and this is just amazing. I will start brewing around this as soon as, you know, before Water Sport comes out even. More can you do with this? Creature combo, Famished Paladin combo does not need this. You could do something like, maybe I should revisit my zombie combo or something. There you need a couple of creatures. But it's better for creature combos where you need stuff in play though. Oh, I'm already brewing. Well, they're gonna go to the next card. I can spend an hour on one card just brewing around it, so we have to go. We have to go on. Frodo, we have to go on. I have to go to Mordor, you know, the ring and stuff. I have a mission there, yeah, I know. Final of Eternity. Finale of Eternity. X2 black. Destroy up to 3 target creatures with toughness X or less. If X is 1 or more, return all creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't want to return all the creature cards? That's amazing. I mean, it's 10 or more, so it's probably never gonna happen. If you compare this to the board sweepers that we already have, then it's horrible. It's actually horrible because you need to play 4 mana to do the same thing as you can already do with Cloudy Carnarium, which is also better because it's also exiles. I mean, it's decent against mono blue. It's also decent against mono red. Decent against mono white. I mean, it can work against them. Theoretically, it can. But I think this would only see deck in a deck in a play. This would only see play in a deck which tries to go for X's 10 or more. If you don't try to go for X's 10 or more, then there's no reason of playing this over something like Friday Carnarium. No. I mean, if you want to get one better than Crowdy Carnarium, you need to pay this. You need to pay 5 mana for this. Nah. In some kind of mana accelerant deck, maybe. That's about it for this card, I think. Finale of Glory. X and 2 white. Create X 2/2 white solar creature tokens with vigilance if X is 10 or more. Also create X, wow, 4 white angel creatures with flying ability. Wow! Wow, you win so much if you got to pay 10 for these cards, but I mean you can just play Omniscience. You've seen, if you play Omniscience, you probably win anyway, so sure. We have a card. Okay, if we play this for 3, it's horrible. If we play this for 4, we already have a card which does this, and it's never seen play ever. If you play this for 5, and you get 3 2/2s, then you start to get somewhere. I mean, it is good for the versatility. Soldier Tribal. Soldier Tribal is what I would put this on being good in. Anything else, and because it's not good on 3, that's the problem with this. It should have a special mode, like if X is 1, you get a 1/1 or something. I don't know how exactly you could word it, but it's the problem with this card is horrible for 3. It's semi horrible for 4. It's only good when you play it for 5, and that's way it makes it so that's probably only good in a soldier deck. You're only in a pinch you want to play this for 3 when you're like, oh, I'm gonna die if I don't put out a 2/2. So yeah, next card. Finale of Promise. Wow, that's a lot of rule text. Wow, I need a sip of something for this. Okay. You may cast up to 1 target instant card and or up to 1 target sorcery card from your grave. Wait a minute. Up to 1 instant and up to 1 sorcery card from your graveyard, each with converted mana cost X or less. Okay, or less, that's good. Without paying their mana costs. Without paying, that's good. If a card will be put into your graveyard this turn, X instead. Okay. If X is 10 or more, copy each of those spells twice. So this is super duper good in Drakes. You have opts and you have shock. You play this for 3, you get an opt and you get a shock, and that's probably good enough. And it also enables you to play. So let's see here. You play it, right? You don't copy it. Yes. If you cast this, yeah, you cast it. Okay, so it counts. So you can return your Phoenix from your graveyard with this. Only playing Finale of Promise, playing an opt and playing a shock, and if you do that, it also replaces itself because you play it with an opt. So yeah, it's amazing in Drakes. It's 100% gonna see play there. Question is also in Modern. I mean, in Modern, it's amazing. There's so many things you can play in Modern. Things you cost 0, for instance, which you might not have seen those cards in Modern. There was a cycle of cards which you couldn't cast, but they had 0 converted mana cost, and then they had Suspend and stuff like that. Suspend, so mechanic where you put counters on it and then you waited a couple of turns and got to play, but you just cheat them to play with things such as this. Now you get 2 of them. Oh my god, it's good in Modern. Okay, sure. Okay. I need to contain myself a little bit. Yeah, in Modern it's amazing. In Standard, it's good in Drakes. It's good in anything else, you ask. Good in anything else. But it needs red. Is it good in Mono Red? Yeah, it's kind of good in Mono Red, honestly. As a finisher. I mean, if you think about it. Let's say you have a Lightning Strike and a... what else could you have? Sorcery Speed, though. Oh, a Sorcery Speed. Think about it. What Sorcery Speed burn spells are there? Maybe you have to shift something. I don't know if it fits perfectly, but it could work there. other red decks. Jund? The Jund deck? Could actually... Oh, but we already have Arcanist, so it's probably... That guy's gonna remove all your instant sorcerers from graveyard anyways. Could be a backup for that. This card is amazing. We'll see more of this. I just have to go to the next card because else we're gonna be here for 5 hours. Finale of Revelation. X, 2 blue. Draw X cards. If X is 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard into your library. Draw X cards onto 5 lands and you have no max mana for the rest of the game. Exile Finale of Revelation. It's another draw X cards, huh? It's a sorcery speed, which is horrible. And then it's only the 10 or more. Rain Geyser, remember, from back. I think that's from the original set. I think that's from Alpha Beta. Will Brain Geyser work again? Brain Geyser is decent. It's borderline playable. Borderline. But if you play it for 3, it's horrible. Draw 1 card for 3. Play it for 4. Still horrible. Play it for 5. Well, now we're talking. You can't use this with the Wilderness Reclamation either. It's not instant speed. I don't see this card getting played. I think Brain Geyser might have seen play back in the good old days, but then Magic was much slower. Sometimes was slower. I don't know. I'm not convinced. Not convinced. And even if you play it for 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard into the library, draw X cards up to 5 lands. It's not even that good if you get it up for 10, so I don't know. I don't think so. Firemind Vessel. Its art is honestly horrible. honestly, I do not like this art. I must say. I'm sorry to say, but maybe you love this art. It's a little bit 80s. And I do like 80s, but I don't know. This just doesn't hit it home for me. 4 colors. Firemind Vessel enters the battlefield tapped. Add 2 mana of different colors. Ooh, 2 mana. Ooh, for 4 mana. So we have Gilded Lotus, which sees absolutely 0 play. Only I have played it, I think. Not only I. But very few people play it, I should say. Not only I. This is maybe better, depending on what you ramp into. Not impossible that this is play, but I don't see. Okay, so it's probably if you want to play something for 6 or 7. There's a lot of good cards for 6 or 7 though. And you can use this immediately to maybe remove something. I can see this being played in a black-green deck where you play this alongside... What's it called? There's a card for a black and a green which can destroy any permanent. And then they search for a land card. With that card it's very, very good because you can play this and immediately destroy a threat. So essentially only 2 mana is wasted that turn on playing this. No, it enters tapped! I'm a dingus! Okay, then it's not so good. Next card. Flux Channeler, 2 colors, 1 blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, proliferate. Yes, this is what you need. If you want to proliferate, you want a source like this, where you can proliferate an insane amount. Just save up instant sources. Something like a Drake's deck with the roll, for instance. Roll, end of turn, you have the land. I think this still that deck could be viable. You play roll, you play the land, which you can play it at the end of turn. Next turn you play Flux Channeler and you play like 4 instants and sorceries. You proliferate your roll up to ultimate, you ultimate roll, and then just go to Roll Town and just win the game. I will definitely build that deck. So maybe someone else also will. Maybe someone else also has thought about this. In that style of deck, I think. Because this is the only card that I've seen that can proliferate you an insane amount. Like you can proliferate between 1 and 5 or something in a turn, realistically. And that's the kind of proliferate you need. You need that insane amount of proliferate. Yes, it can be instantly killed, but at the same time, you can just answer that trigger by another instant and another instant. You can just opt. Doesn't matter if your opponent answers by killing this. Will still gets all the proliferates off. So yes, this is the best proliferator in my opinion. Next card. Forced landing. 1 colorless, 1 green. Put target creature with flying on the bottom of its owner's library. Yeah, limited. We already have better cards than this. Gateway Plaza. Gateway Plaza enters the battlefield tapped. When Gateway Plaza enters the battlefield, sacrifice unless you pay 1. And 1 mono of any color. Well, we already have this card. Oh, it's just... It is the Gateway Plaza. It is the gate. Okay, it's just new art. Well... Art is fine, for what it's worth. Next card. Giant Growth. We talked about this already. We're not gonna spend too much on this. This definitely goes into the Jund deck. Target creatures +3/+3 until end of turn. It's solid. It's 1 mana. It's an instant. Definitely we'll see play in Jund. That's about this. That's about it for this card. Gideon Blacklight. 1 colorless, 2 white. Oh, I love this Planeswalker so much. I think it's top 10 cards in this set. So it's how good I rank this card. I know a lot of people haven't seen too excited about this card. I think it's amazing, honestly. As long as your turn, Gideon Blackblade is a 4/4 human solar creature with indestructible. That's still a planeswalker. I think also a lot of people want to play him in mono white. I don't think that's at all where it fits best. At all. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to Gideon Blackblade during your turn. Up. Next part. +1. Up to 1 target creature you control gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Indestructible end of turn. -6, exile target non-land permanent. So, what's so amazing about this card, in my opinion, is that you can play Gideon Blackblade, and then you can Kaya's Wrath over him. So it fits very good in an Orzhov deck. Amazingly well in an Orzhov deck. Also, he can give himself Lifelink, which is very good. And also, he's probably the best use of the plus ability is just to always give himself Lifelink. So think of him as a 4/4 indestructible Lifelink. You rarely want to give Lifelink to anything else, because when you attack in with Gideon, I mean, if you put Lifelink on something else, it's very likely that they're just gonna kill that thing. And it's very likely that also that thing will have less power than Gideon Blackblade, because it's probably going to be one of your biggest minions in your deck. If you play something... Oh, might not be. Might be for instance, you can play this alongside the Lich. That's pretty amazing. And that's another indestructible card, which also doesn't die to Kaya's Wrath. And you can play this with... what else is there? I mean, you could use the +1 on another target when he comes into play, because it doesn't do anything when it comes into play. So for instance, let's say you turn 2 play a Adanto Vanguard, turn 3 Gideon Blackblade, give the Adanto Vanguard lifelink, attack in, which is pretty amazingly good, and next turn give your own Blackblade lifelink and attack in. That's just so good. And then you can put down the Lich, and then just Wrath. Yeah, this is amazing. Amazing card. Yeah, I will play this. This is one of the first cards that I will craft all my mythic wildcards, which I have 0 of currently in most of my accounts. Yeah, Gideon will be crafted in 4 of... Yes, 4. That's how much I like this card. Gideon's Sacrifice. Also another endgame card with lures. Okay. 1 white. So he saved Liliana in the end. What a gentleman. But never put women on pedestals. Guys. Choose a creature or planeswalker you control. All damage that would be dealt this turn to you and permanents you control is dealt to the chosen permanent instead. If it's still on the battlefield. Let's read this again. Choose a creature or planeswalker. All damage that would be dealt this permanent you control is dealt to the chosen permanent instead. Oh! Oh, well, that is... Oh, no, it's only you control. I thought you could do this on your opponent's creature. I'm like, that is amazing. I put this on my creature and it kills himself. It's removal always for 1 white mana. Okay, so it's not that good. So you can make something deal damage to your own permanent. Something else. True Fire Captain? Maybe in a True Fire Captain deck. Except for that, no, I don't see it. Unless you're comboing this with something. Nope. Next card. Gideon's Triumph. 1 colorless, 1 white. Target opponent sacrifices a creature that attacked or blocked this turn. If you control Gideon Planeswalker, that player sacrifices 2 of those creatures instead. It's pretty good. Actually a pretty good card. And it also works with Gideon, and yeah, I will definitely play this alongside Gideon. It's very, very good with Gideon. I think it's probably not worth playing if you don't have Gideon. It's the same with all these cards. Most of them are not amazing if you don't have the Planeswalker out. But this card is decent by itself. It's like 95% there without the Planeswalker. And with the Planeswalker, it's just all the value in the world. So yes, I like this card. I will see. It will see play. Oh, my nose today. Gleaming Overseer. 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 black. 1 Gleaming Overseer enters the battlefield, amass 1. Zombie tokens you control have Hexproof and Menace. So, what one of you guys pointed out in the comments, what you can do with this actual fun combo, is that you can copy Gleaming Overseer with any copy spell, which creates a token. Oh my no. And then it will itself be a token and will have Hexproof and Menace. And that way you can never get rid of all this Hexproof. That's a pretty good combo, honestly. That's a pretty good combo. Maybe it will even see play in an amass deck with Gleaming Overseer and something that copies it. Most notably this one, which has Jumpstart. The problem is, I don't know in a mass, because there's probably not many other creatures, because you're a mass deck. You don't have any other creatures. What are you gonna copy? It's horrible to copy a mass token which just dies. So if there's enough creatures, that could work. Otherwise, it's also decent that it protects your biggest amassed creature. That is not horrible. So it's borderline. It's like, I don't know. Do we want this card or do we want other cards in a mass deck? I don't know. Borderline good. Next card. Next card. Goblin Assault Team. 3 colors, 1 red. Haste. When Goblin Assault Team dies, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Yeah. God Eternal Bontu. Menace. When God Eternal Bontu enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. Sacrifice any number of other permanents and draw that many cards. A very good way of getting rid of all your lands that you don't want. Or treasures. Then you can instantly draw from all your treasures. Okay, when Goblin dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library 3rd from the top. That's... you may. Oh, that I do like that. You may do it. Menace 5/6. So the body is good. There's no doubt about it. 5/6. It's not amazing for 5, but it's good. And I mean, Menace is actually semi-evasion kind of thing. It's not the card you probably want to block with 2 creatures anyways. Because then you lose probably both creatures. You probably want to shump this guy. So it's kind of a little bit of shump protection in there. I do like that. How do you use to sacrifice any number of other permanents and draw that many cards though? I mean, in black, you're supposed to have a lot of things which you can sacrifice, right? There's not that many that come to mind, honestly. I mean, burglar rats and stuff. I mean, I could see this being played with the knight, which... but the thing is, if you play it with a knight, aren't you just gonna get burned to death? Because the knight is already risky to play with mono red. So, I don't know. I don't know if you want to do that. You can play with the treasure map, and it fits better into a non-aggressive strategy, I would say. You can sacrifice treasures. You can sacrifice lands if you have too many lands. Just draw new cards. It's not the worst. Not the worst, but it's another tricky pickle. I don't know. I don't see exactly what you're gonna sacrifice except for treasures and maybe extra lands. If this would have been destroy any number of permanents, it would have been better, because then you could have afterlife. It's not too many afterlife things which you want to do this with. It's narrow. I don't know. I don't know that you want this. Maybe a one of. Maybe a one of with treasure tokens. It's good enough. Maybe. Next card. God Eternal Kefnet. Kefnet sounds like a Skynet or something. Like this guy will terminate us all. 2 colorless, 2 blue. Flying. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. The first card, okay. When you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, copy that card and you may cast the copy. What? Copy that card and then you may cast the copy. Oh, you copy the entire card! Okay, now I get it. I was like, what? Okay, that copy costs 2 less. Cost, okay. And then when it dies, it does the same thing as the last one. Okay. Okay, wow. I didn't think about the body actually being really, really good. It's a 4/5 for 4 flying. Dodges lava call. Wow, wizards. Wizards, what are you doing here? What are you doing? I think you maybe made a mistake with this guy. This guy seems good, honestly. It's a good body. Does not do anything when it comes into play, like Bolas does. But Bolas dies the lava coil immediately, so that's also not so good. And next turn, you are... let's see here. If you have mostly instants and sorceries in your deck, let's see, you have a third. You have 1 in 3 instants or sorcery. Get 1 in 3 to get a card. Third card every turn. That's not... oh, you can. You probably want to set this up though. You probably want to run this alongside other things which can manipulate, like anticipate and treasure map. Treasure map. But maybe not treasure map, because then it doesn't work with this ability. So something else. Shimmer possibilities, anticipate. Some kind of deck which wants... yeah, I mean, this is a solid card. It's a solid card. The body is good in by itself. And then it has a very relevant ability. And if you can set this card up in the right way with maybe anticipates and stuff like that, then you can get a lot of value out of it. So, yeah, good card. We'll definitely see play, I think. Next card. God Eternal Ketra. 3 colors, 2 white. Double strike. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create... and you cast a creature... oh, I thought it was non-creature... oh, what? Okay, whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 black zombie warrior creature token with vigilance. Okay. When God Eternal Electra dies... okay, it's the same ability there. So it's essentially a 6/6 for 5. That's a good body, I would say. That's a good body. Whenever we cast a creature spell. 4/4. The problem is you can't... that's 5 mana, it will probably die when it comes into play. But it's not horrible. This is borderline. Let's put this at borderline playable. You wonder, why is this so much worse than the last card? That didn't gain immediate value also. Well, the last card was 4 mana. This is 5 mana. It's completely different in Magic. Seriously, it is. Costing 4 or costing 5 is a world of difference. 5 mana, I mean, you're competing with Teferi here. What do you want? Do you want God Eternal Ketra or do you want Teferi? You kind of want to be able to cast a creature spell immediately. I don't know how you could do that. I don't know how you could do that. There used to be, I mean... if you're talking like legacy card, there used to be like a blue card which, when you played it, you return a creature to the owner's hand. So you can just play that card and return it 6 times and get 6 4/4s on your next turn. That would be amazing if there was a card like that. I don't think there's a card like that. There's Exclusion Mage, but I only think it works with your opponent's creatures. You can bounce it a couple of times. Get a couple of 4/4s every turn. I don't think there's enough good bounce effects that you can combo this. But it's borderline good. It's just, I think we'll see play in a few decks. Maybe not competitive decks. Or maybe not the most competitive decks, I should say. But it can definitely... oh, it's so close! So close, Wizards. Give this lifelink and we have an amazing card. Next card. God Eternal Ronas. 3 colors, 2 green. Death Touch. When God Eternal Ronas enters the battlefield, double the power of each creature you control until end of turn. Those creatures against vigilance. Okay, so Andrae's Forerunners no longer needed, apparently. No longer needed. You have this guy. No, I'm gonna be proven wrong, but I'm about to say this card is good. The problem, of course, is that you need to have trample on everything. I don't know if there's enough cards with trample, but if you can assemble a deck with only trampling creatures and then put God Eternal Ronas, buffs your entire team, makes you win. I mean, he's good. He's like, if you think about it, there used to be what's called Overrun or something. All your creatures gets +3/+3 and trample. And you gotta set it up so that this is almost as good. I mean, since it also leaves a body on the board. Yeah, it needs to be a very special deck that brews around this, and it needs to have mostly tramplers. The problem is it doesn't fit in the mono green deck that everyone probably wants to put it in too, because oh, isn't it this good with the 6/6 whatever thing? No, it's horrible with that, because it doesn't gain trample. So, doubling it to 12 power doesn't matter, it still gets jump blocked by a 1/1, so... but if you build around it, and if you have a lot of trample, or if you have a lot of evasion, then it's amazing. And it's actually good. Next card. God Pharaoh Statue, 6 colorless. Spells your opponent's cost, 2 more to cast at the beginning of your... Yeah, this is the card I am building a meme deck around. What I'm gonna do with God Pharaoh Statue is I'm gonna play this with Karn, the great thing, whatever his name is. Karn, the great creator. And I'm just gonna search for God Pharaoh Statue. Put this into play. Next turn, search for Helm of the Host. Because you can have both in your sideboard, so don't really impact your deck negatively in any way. And then I'm gonna I'm gonna turn my God Pharaoh Statue into a creature with Karn, and I'm gonna equip it with Helm of the Host, and then I'm gonna have infinite amount of God Pharaoh statues, and then at some point my opponent can't cast spells anymore. That's my plan. It's very gimmicky, but in that deck it will probably be very nice games, so look forward to those. Grateful Apparition, 1 colorless, 1 white. When Grateful Apparition is combat damage of player or planeswalker, proliferate. This is very good with the aforementioned treasure map. I think the proliferate is too slow and it's too easy to kill to even compete with the blue proliferate guy, which proliferates every time you play a non-creature spell. You can't really get that much insane value, but you don't need to do anything with Grateful Aberration. You will just attack in every turn and proliferate, hopefully, unless you're against mono blue. Mono red will just kill it. Mono white, it's I don't see the Grateful Apparition working. Proliferating once is not good enough, and that's probably all you're gonna get out of this. 1 or 0 proliferates, so next card. Grim Initiate, 1 red. First strike, when it dies, amass 1. Yeah, I talked about this earlier. It's not super exciting card, but it's decent in an amass deck, I think. Just because that's first strike, it can combat a lot of like mono white stuff, which has 1 toughness. It can I mean, maybe a Lawn or Elf in mono green, but most things in mono green it's not good against, honestly. I mean, there's a lot of threats, and even when it dies, it will, you know, contribute with its amass at least. So I think it's a solid card, good card. Guild Globe, 2 colorless. When Guild Globe ends the battlefield, draw a card. Okay, 2 colorless, sacrifice Guild Globe, add 2 mana of different colors. Oh, this is like another bauble. Oh, not bauble. Oh, we've had effects like this, but there used to be a card whenever it's sacrificed, you draw 2 cards or something. It's just when it comes into play, you draw a card. I don't know. It kind of works with things such as the blue. Oh, what's its face? The Reanimator or Animator, Skilled Animator, for instance. You put this down. Turn 3, you put down a Skilled Animator, you turn this into a 5/5 when you attack in with it. But the problem with Skilled Animator is that they always kill the Skilled Animator, so it doesn't really help with that in any way. But yeah, it's a fine card. If you want a lot of artifacts out, maybe. Maybe if with Tesseract you get a little more artifacts. But I think Treasure Map is just better. Just better. Yep. That's my thoughts about this card. Next card, Heartfire. 1 colorless, 1 red. As an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature or planeswalker. Does 4 damage on target. Yes, I think this will be played in Mardu Aristocrats. I think it's the best sack outlay we've seen so far. Dealing 4 damage is quite different from dealing 2 or dealing 3. It's a very good finish in that deck, so yes, that's where I think... I mean, it's so obvious. It's not really like, do I need to spend an hour on this card? No. Heartwarming Redemption. Yes, Gideon died and he went to Greek gay heaven or something. I don't know. Oh, there actually is a girl there behind him. But he bets his broskies. That's what's going on. Now I see it. It's, oh, bro. It's nice to be back, bro. Okay, 2 colors, 1 red, 1 white. Instant. Discard all the cards in your hand, then draw that many cards plus 1. You gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand. Okay, discard all the cards in your hand. Draw that many cards plus 1. So you play this, and let's say you have 2 cards. Draw 3 cards. Gain 3 life. What could this be used in? This could be used in... It's instant. This could be used in a Reanimator deck. Horrible colors for Reanimator, I know. But if you use this, discard a couple of cards which you don't want. Or a Phoenix deck. Yeah. Phoenix deck might want this to get rid of lands. Don't they already have better cards? Maybe Reanimated, maybe some jank deck. I'll put something together. It's not good in every deck. It's good in like one janky deck that I'm definitely gonna put together. Next card. Herald of the Dreadhorde. When it dies, amass 2. Next card. As it is the cost to cast this spell, discard a card. 2 colors, 1 red. Draw 2 cards, amass 1. I don't think even in a mass deck for 3 mana this effect is desirable. I think you rather pay the 2 mana card, which does the same thing, but which doesn't amass 1. If it would have been amass 4 or amass 3 or I don't know, something would have been good, but no. Huatli's Raptor. 1 green, 1 white. Vigilance. When Huatli's Raptor enters the battlefield, proliferate. Sounds good to have proliferate. The dinosaur. Relevant creature type. But as I said, 1 proliferate is not amazing. You need 2 or 3 or 4. That's when things get reals. When you get... That's why the blue one is the only one, in my opinion, that has any chance of being good. Because you can get 4 proliferates off in 1 turn, and that could really swing a game. That could like win you with the game. 1 proliferate does nothing, in my opinion. So, next card. It would have been good if it... No, works with itself. Like, maybe it has kicker 1, add... counter, 2 plus 1 counter, or add 1 counter plus 1 counter on it, and then it can proliferate that counter or something like. But it doesn't combo with itself. I don't see it. Next card, Watley, the Sun's Heart. 2 colors, 1 green, 1 white. Oh, 1 green or 1 white, I should say. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Wow, 7 loyalty. Wow, there's so much loyalty. I mean, it's like they don't want mono red to interact with the planeswalkers. They're like, no, mono red. No. That's what they're saying right now. You gain life equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Okay. Relevant ability, you say. Relevant ability and turns. I can definitely see this being played, actually. I mean, we have seen the Arcanist decks being still gimmicky, but there are a couple of decks, like for instance there's a couple of cards which are very good, which have higher toughness than power. Like for instance there's the blue-white 1/3 for instance, which snags cards from the I don't remember what it's called, Detention Mage or something, Detention Sorcerer, I don't remember what it's called, Detention guy. Anyways, with that for instance and a couple of other cards, it could work. I don't think you want walls, because there's no good walls that we've seen so far. But if they print a good wall, or if they print a good, I don't know, more high toughness creatures. This could actually work. I mean, it's solid. Because it has the other ability that you gain life equal to the toughness, highest toughness of creatures, then you can probably gain a lot of life from this. So it'll be something that gains you a lot of life, and at the same time it will buff other creatures. So I like this card. Yeah, it's not good in every deck, it's just good if you build around it. Next card. Ignite the Bacon. 4 colorless, 1 white. Search your library for up to 2 planeswalker cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. This is 5 mana, it's an instant. I mean, it's the instant part that saves this. We have the blue one, if you think about it. We have the blue 4 mana, you discard a card and you draw 2 cards. That's very good because you can get rid of cards you don't need in your hand. So you can remove removal, for instance, if you're up against another control deck. Ignite the Bacon. Yeah, there's a little bit of toolboxing that can be done with this. Nah, I'm not really that sold on this card, honestly. What 2 planeswalkers have such good synergies? Either the 2 planeswalker steeds will be very, very good together. Maybe like if you search for an Ajani, that as the image suggests here, and another planeswalker, you can play them both. But I don't know. You're giving up your entire turn essentially, even though it's an instant. You're not doing anything else that turn. Nah, it would have been good also if it would have been search. If you could search outside of the game for 2 planeswalkers, then you don't need to have them in your deck. That would have been a saving grace also for this card, but I think it's a little bit on the weaker side. But I know a lot of you are probably gonna love this card. I would like to love this card, but unfortunately I do not. Next card. Ilharg, the Race Boar. Wow. Boar Tribal, will it be a thing? Now we have another Boar. Boar God! Wow! Oh my lord. My lord Boar God. Okay, 3 colors, 2 red. Legendary creature. Boar God. Well, of course you're a Boar God. Well, Ilharg, the Race Boar attacks. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Turn a creature to your hand. Ooh, okay. If this was ever a card that I wanted to brew around. Put a creature card from my hand. Oh, well, Sakama. I would like Sakama to come down here. Well, this card is amazing in a Reanimator shell, by the way. Especially since there's a new Reanimator spell which gives something haste when you reanimate. I mean, reanimate Ilharg the Race Boar with that haste Reanimator spell, then put a Sakama into play, untap all your lands, and just win the game or something. Yeah, this is such a fun card to brew around. It's all actually really good. I mean, it's trample, it's 6/6. And you can put something from your hand. That is good. It's a solid card by itself. A 6/6 trampler for 5. Good stats. But the combo potential in this guy is off the charts. Off the charts. Yeah, now we just need to start brewing. We need Sakama, we need Reanimator, we need some discard to draw cards. Maybe the 4 mana, get 2 treasures, and you discard a card, you discard a Sakama. Oh, you didn't need to discard it if you have this in hand. Just play it out. Oh, you discard Ilharg, then you reanimate real Ilharg. And if you don't have Ilharg, you reanimate your Sakama, so you can do whichever you want. Ooh. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I say to this card. Next card. Interplanar Bacon. A lot of bacon. I know it's Beacon. I know. Whenever you cast a Planeswalker spell, you gain 1 life. Add 1 colorless, and then 1 colorless add 2 mana of different colors. Spend this mana to cast Planeswalker spells. I think this will definitely see play in Tesseract artifacts, because you can get away with a lot of colorless. Gaining life is insane, and you can, alpha strike a lot of planeswalkers and gain lots of life. I don't know that many other decks really want to run this. I don't know. Maybe Super Friends. Super Friends decks. Next card. Invade the City. 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 red. Amass X, where X is the number of instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. Yes, this is the card which I talked about earlier when we talked about Amass in another video. I think this card, yes, is so good that it's one of the cornerstones of the deck. because you can get a very, very big token very quickly, and it probably that deck will play something like the Drake's archetype already. It will just be a version of the Drakes which runs Amass instead of Drakes, I think so. Yes, Invade the City, I like it. Invading Manticore, 5 colors, 1 red. When Invading Manticore enters the battlefield, Amass 2. Next card. Iron Bully, 3 colors, Menace, 1 it enters the battlefield, +1 cut. Now, next. So many limited cards. Jace's Triumph, 2 colors, 1 blue. Draw 2 cards if you control a Jace Planeswalker. Draw 3 cards instead. Is there any good Jace Planeswalker? I mean, it's horrible. I mean, Divination is... I mean, it's close. Playable. Control up. I mean, it's not even that good. Why couldn't it be 4 cards if you have Jace? No, I don't know. Okay, here's Jace, by the way. Wielder of Mysteries, 1 colors and 3 blue. Very restricted mana cost. Very, very restrictive. Okay. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game. Oh, we've seen this card before. Target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into the graveyard, draw cards. He has a plus which draws a card, which is customary for Jace. He's the one who started the trend, I think. -8. Draw 7 cards, then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. Yes. Yeah, I mean, you could build around this. Definitely. I mean, it's one of those mill decks which I hate, so let's just go to the next card! Hope I didn't scare you. 1 colors, 1 red. Jaya's Greeting deals 3 damage target creature, scry 1. It's an instant. No. No, we have better cards. Jaya, Venerated Fire Mage. Oh, she's in good shape, even though she's old. Very posing like that. Okay, 4 colors, 1 red. I'm not don't mean anything bad against old people, by the way. I'm old myself, so. If another red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage +1 to that permanent or player instead. That's very nice. Buffs everything red, +1. All your creatures, all your spells. Okay. -2. Jaya Venerated Fire Mage deals 2 damage to any target. Which is actually 3 damage. Is this playable? An uncommon playable Planeswalker? Yeah. I would say this is playable in a deck which builds around. Like, for instance... if you have a lot of tokens, like goblins, and I mean, think about this with the... oh, what's his face? It's another 5 mana card, though. The Goblin Lord, which creates a lot of goblins. Very, very good with that. Very, very good. But also that it kills something when it comes into play, or might kill something when it comes into play. So, yeah, this could be a finisher in a red deck, honestly. If you have a lot of small tokens, you attack in, they deal 1 more damage, and this deals 3 more damage. Like, pop, 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 pop. Ah, not horrible. Maybe 1 of in a red deck. Surprised to say, I actually like that card. Okay. Yang Yu, Wildcrafter. Now, we've seen this card before. 2 colors, 1 red. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has add 1 mana of any color. Let's see here. So how many creatures will that be? That don't already have this ability. That I can think of on the top of my mind, it's not many, but you can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. I mean, if you have something down on the board, I don't know, can pay 1 mana back immediately. Because you can get a plus counter on something and you can then immediately use that mana for something. It's not horrible, but it's hard to make work. I mean, you need something like a mass creature, and then turn 2 something else, and then turn 3 Yang Yu, and then use all the manas from all those creatures. Or maybe you just need the 2 mana drop to have a plus counter on it. Ooh. Maybe you have the... No, that doesn't work. I was about to say maybe you have the Amass enchantment, but that creates a token next turn, so it will have Summoning Sickness. Meaning it can't tap that turn for mana. So. Yeah, I don't see it. If you know how to utilize this guy, then let me know in the comments. Because I think this guy might have potential, but I'm not seeing it here. Next card. Karn's Bastion, add 1 colorless and 4 to proliferate. I think this could be a one-of in a Tesseract. Yeah, the deck that I've been talking about so much. The Tesseract Karn deck. Next card. Karn the Great Creator. Yes, this is another very good card for that archetype. Activate abilities or of artifacts your opponent's control can't be activated, that will never matter. +1 until your next turn, up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to its converted mana cost. This plus is not seemingly that good, but it's actually really good because there's a lot of... The -2 is what makes the +1 good, and I really like this design. You may choose an artifact card that you own from outside the game, or exile, reveal that card, and put that card into your hand. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with this. You can use it as a toolbox. It's good, very good as a toolbox thing. Just, okay, I'm up against tokens, search for the artifact which gives all the tokens -1 power, for instance. Or you could say, okay, I'm up against a mono-green deck, so let's search for Transmogrifying Wand, for instance. It's a good artifact against them. Or, well, maybe you don't want to search for Immortal Sun if you have Karn and Tesseract in your deck, but maybe in some weird situation it could be good to have. But you could also do the -2 and you can search for things such as Hellion. It's an 8 mana card if you're in the ultra late game. Search for that, and next turn, turn that Hellion into an 8/8 flying vigilance everything, which creates 4/4 flyers, whatever it was, whenever it attacks. You can do something insane like that, or you can do the combo that I talked about. You can have, I mean, you can have a lot of late game stuff. You can have Helm of the Host. You can have anything. I love this card. I love this card so much, and I will brew around it. I don't know if it will be competitive. I think it might be, maybe. No, I will brew a lot around this card. So much. I mean, it's so similar also to a Mastermind's Acquisition. It's a Mastermind's Acquisition which can only search for artifacts, but you can do it 2 times. So it's insane. I love this card. Next card. Kasmina, Enigmatic Mentor. 3 colorless, 1 blue. Spells your opponent cast at target creature or planeswalker you control costs 2 more to cast. So it's very good against like Vraska's Contempt and stuff like that. Manage to create a 2/2 blue wizard creature token, draw a card, and discard a card. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's somewhat decent. I've already seen this card, we've already talked about it. It's somewhat decent in a Planeswalker deck if you have it as a one-of, because it kind of semi-protects your Planeswalkers. But then again, there's a lot of cards like, we're gonna see the Elder Spell, for instance, which just destroys all Planeswalkers. I don't know how much that's gonna see play. It depends on the metagame, this fine woman here. And I think... I don't know. Very few of the uncommon Planeswalkers are like non-metagame specific. Almost all of them are like, only in this type of metagame it will work. Most of them are like that, so we'll see. Probably not. Next card. Kasmina's Transmutation. 1 colorless, 1 blue. Enchant creature. Enchant creature loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 1/1. So I talked about this earlier, and I mean, I think this is a noob trap in my opinion. I don't think this card is gonna be good. I mean, everyone's gonna be excited to see a blue removal, but it's not really a blue removal because it's got a 1/1. And if the metagame stays something like it is right now, then it's quite horrible. Against mono blue, you only remove flying from a creature. Against mono red, you remove maybe 1 power from a creature. Against mono white, you remove 1 power or maybe 1 more, but it doesn't prevent them from going off with their it's called Adanto First Fort and stuff like that. So yeah, it's basically not good, and not good against Esper, of course, because they don't run any creatures. So it's essentially not good against any meta deck except for Drakes right now. Drakes and Gates. Those are the only 2 decks which it's good against. So next card. Kaya, Bane of the Dead. 3 colorless, then black, white, black, white, black, white. Okay. Your opponents, and I think we've read this card already. Your opponents and permanents your opponent's control with hexproof can't be the target of spells and abilities you control. Okay. So it's a constant detection tower, and then you can -3 to exile a creature. You can get double removal. I think I compared this to Profane Procession, and I think Profane Procession is just better, even though you need to play it out for 3 first and then wait 2 turns probably to use it. I think that setup is still better because it's more removal and you get something, you get a land out of it, you get all the creatures back. You don't get much payoff for Kaya, Bane of that. The only metagame where Kaya is good is when everybody is playing Carnage Tyrant. Every other metagame, then there's better cards, I think. Ooh! Oh! Kaya's Ghost Form, yes! Yes! I say. Enchant creature or planeswalker you control. When enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. I will probably play this in every deck I ever play. Because I play a lot of black. I love Kaya's Ghost Form. It's good with everything. I mean, even with something just as simple as a Resplendent Angel. Don't Resplendent Angel. What are you gonna do? If a Resplendent Angel sticks for 1 turn, you usually win the game with it, so... same with something like the black-blue thing, which when it attacks in, when it deals combat damage to a player, then you reveal the top 4 cards and you can play one of their cards. That thing, it's also amazing. It's good with every planeswalker ever, because you can minus them until they die and then you get it back, or your opponent kills it and you get it back with full loyalty. I mean, it's just amazing in every possible way. And what this has over the previous cards which are printed like this are 2 things. It can target planeswalkers, which is amazing, and it can also do the same thing when it gets exiled. So nothing essentially that we've seen so far stops this. No sacrifice effects. The only thing which stops this is effects which take over creatures. It doesn't stop that, but it's not bad with that, because then you just need to kill your own creature and then it will return under your control because you still own the Kaya's Ghost Form. So as long as they don't take over your Kaya's Ghost Form, it's fine. Even if they take over a creature, just kill it and you kill it and you get it back. So also it works with all the white removal spells, which exile something like all the Ixalan's bindings and stuff like that. It protects against that. The Ixalan's binding now needs to target the Kaya's Ghost Form, which is horrible for them most likely. Yeah, it's amazing in every way, and I think it will see a play. The more I think about this card, it can't be bad. It can't be that I'm such a timid that I fell into another noob trap. This has to be good, goddammit. Looks amazing. Next card. Kiora Behemoth Beckoner. 2 colors, 1 green/blue. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. -1 until target permanent. So I talked about this earlier. The problem with this is that there's not many creatures which have power 4 or greater. But then again, with the new set coming, there's a lot of 5 mana, the God Eternals and stuff like that. So maybe. It can also get 1 mana back every turn with the untapped target permanent. It's probably mostly gonna be used for mana, so it's a 1 mana ramp. If you compare this, for instance, to a what's its face? It's like 3 mana artifacts which you can tap for 1 mana, and it's basically on par with that, but it also has another effect, which because that's so much loyalty, right? So it's never gonna get killed, or very unlikely to get killed. And then it has another ability. So if you run, for instance, there's the 5/4 for 3 in green, and then you maybe have your green God Eternal. Yeah, maybe something like big green, and maybe it could work. Maybe it could work. Maybe just a 1-off though, because it's never gonna die. So you're probably just gonna kill your creatures. They're never gonna kill Kiora, so it's just a 1-off. Next card, Kiora's Damnbreaker. When that's battlefield, you proliferate. 6 mana to proliferate. That's amazing. Next card. Next card. Krenko, Tin Street Kingpin. 2 colors and 1 red. When Krenko, Tin Street Kingpin attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to Krenko's power. This only way I could see this card work is, as I said before, is in Jund. If you buff him up and you get a lot of 1/1s, then it's good. Otherwise, the previous goblin that we have is just better because they gain haste, and it's a 2/2. So yep, this guy needs to stay around way too long for him to be relevant. Crunch Wrangler. 1 colors, 1 green. Trample. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Crunch. Next card. Law Rune Enforcer. Okay, I'll read this. Tap target creature with convert to mana cost 2 or greater. This horrible. Next card. Last step, Behemoth. 4 colorless, 1 black. 5. Lasso plating! 1 colorless, 1 blue. Amass 1. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. This is pretty good because it can counter a lot of stuff. Very good against mono red because when they try to target you with a burn spell, you get a 1/1. You counter that spell. You can protect your planeswalkers with this. It's basically a dive down for everything, even your face. So it's really good. It's probably mostly gonna see play in a mass decks. I don't see it really seeing play outside of that. We'll see. It's a good card. Next card. Last step. I mean, it's a decent. It's 2 mana. You amass 1 when it enters, so it's not horrible, but it's a little bit horrible. It's not horrible, but it's a little bit horrible. Next card. Leyline Prowler. 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 green. Death Touch, Lifelink, add 1 mana of any color. We've talked about this already. The stats are too bad on this guy. Even though it has both Death Touch and Lifelink, which are very nice, and even though we can add 1 of any color, all these 3 abilities don't really stack up really great together, so he either needs better stats or better abilities. Is my opinion on this guy. Next card. Liliana Dread Horde General. 4 colorless, 2 black. Whenever... Oh, we've talked about this card before. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. I both love and hate this card. I hate that it costs 6. I love that it has nice abilities. The +1 creates a 2/2 black summon creature token. Nothing to be really excited about. The -4 is where we get somewhere with this card. -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. And of course, when you sacrifice your own creatures, you draw cards. So you can play this for 6, use it as kind of a semi-sweeper. Sacrifice your own creatures. Maybe they have you have already thought about this probably, and they're either useless or they have afterlife or something. You draw 2 cards, kill 2 of your opponent's creatures, and that's a huge swing in your favor. And then you can just create zombies for the rest of the game. You might get to the -9, but very unlikely. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type, then sacrifice the rest. So they will only have 1 land. That's pretty amazing, but in weird scenarios where they don't have creatures, if you're up against a control deck, for instance, you can just create zombies forever. And that might be good. Then you maybe get to it, but it's a little bit difficult to get to ultimates, especially considering this planeswalker costs 6. So, next card. Liliana's Triumph. 1 colorless, 1 black. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. If you control Liliana Planeswalker, each opponent also discards a card. This is very, 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 very good. Mostly because it's instant. And also, if you have a Liliana Planeswalker, will probably only be relevant in Legacy, where we have Liliana Vess. But in Legacy, I definitely see this in play. And in Modern, I think so. I'm a little bit out of the loop there, so maybe I'm talking out of my auspuff here, but I don't know. It seems that it would be played there. Next card. Living Twister. 2 red, 1 green. 1 colorless and 1 red. Discard a land card. Twisting. Living Twister deals 2 damage to any target. We've had a card like this in the past, but there you didn't have to play mana and did this. That was good. I don't think it's super good when you have to play mana for it. Okay. 1 red. Or 1 green, I should say. Return a tapped land you control to its owner's hand. And return all lands and throw them at your opponent's face. The body is a little bit horrible. It's a 2/5. I would much have loved it to be a 3/5. Would probably have been a very, very good card then. Borderline playable. Probably see some play in some weird deck, which is centered around maybe Crucible of Worlds and this and stuff like that. So you can just return. Yeah, in a Crucible of Worlds deck. What I say about this card. But I'm not really sold on this guy because it costs mana. I would have loved to see that did cost mana to discard land cards. Next card. Oh, maybe they would have been broken then. Maybe. Next card, anyways. Loxodon Sergeant. 3 colorless, 1 white. When it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control gain vigilance. Next card. Makeshift Battalion. 2 colorless, 1 white. When Battalion, at least 2 other creatures attack, you put a +1/+1 counter on Makeshift Battalion. Yep, next card. Mana Geo. 3 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, you scry 1, and you can add 1 mana of any color. We already have better cards than this. Next card. Martyr of the Cause. 1 colorless, 1 white. When it dies, you proliferate. No, that's horrible. Massacre Girl. 3 colorless, 2 black. We've seen this card already. When it enters the battlefield, each other creature you control gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Whenever another creature dies, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1. So I've been a little bit more sold on this card the more time goes, but I'm still not really there with this card. I think you need still to build around it. You need to have like burger rats and stuff that you want to sacrifice yourself to make this good. But then it's pretty decent. I mean, it's a board sweeper. You can make this into a Kaya's Wrath, which also gives you a 4/4. So it's decent, but I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I've already spent a lot of time. So if you want to hear more about that card, then go back and watch my older videos. Sorry, just had to refuel there. Mayhem Devil is another card we've seen before. 1 colorless, 1 black, 1 red. When a player sacrifices a permanent, it deals 1 damage to any target. Yeah, I'm also not sold on this guy. It's probably supposed to be in a Mardu deck, but there's not too many cards to sacrifice. There's the 2/2 Haster, which can sacrifice something, and then there's like Evolving Wilds. And that's about it. If they print fetch lands, then yes. Otherwise, this card is a no for me. Next one, Merfolk Skydiver. 1 green, 1 blue. When Merfolk Skydiver enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Yeah, it's a 2/2 with a shit proliferate. And next card. Mission Tag. Oh, horrible card, but we're gonna read it. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Mission Tag becomes an artifact creature and gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. It becomes a 4/3 when you play a non-creature spell and then can crew it for 1. That's Trample, which is very good. The thing is, I mean, we already have kind of this thing for 2, which is even better. It's the Runaway Steamkin. Runaway Steamkin doesn't, you know, you don't have to have non-creature spells. You can have creature spells even to work with that. So I don't see this ever competing with the Runaway Steamkin. So next card. Mobilized District. 4 colorless. Mobilized District becomes a 3/3 citizen with vigilance until end of turn. It's still a land. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature and planeswalker you control. So this is another card which I think will be played in the Tezzeret artifact deck that I've been talking so much about. If you're interested in seeing that, you should definitely check out the video that I made on decks that I think will become a thing in World of Spark. Links down in the description. Mowu, Loyal Companion, 3 colors, 1 green, Trample Vigilance. If 1 or more +1 counters will be put on Mowu Loyal Companion, that many +1/+1/+1 counters are put on it instead. Yes, so you double the counters that you put on it. It's a horrible body when it comes into play. You probably don't have any mana to put counters on it. It's kind of the obvious combo, of course, with Zhong Jiangju or whatever his name was. Because you can immediately put a counter on it, make it into a 5/5. It's basically only good with that card. I don't really see this guy working. I don't really see it. I do like that it has Trample. I do like that. But I mean, if you compare this to something like a Gatebreaker Ram or something, Gatebreaker Ram just grows indefinitely, doesn't need anything but lands. This guy needs you to actually do stuff. I mean, it's good with Proliferate because you get 2 things. Nah. X card. I love that guy. I love the Naruto callback. Okay, Nog Eternal. No, I'm not gonna talk about that. Now here is Stoneblades. 1 colors, 1 red. Up to 2 target creatures you control each get +2/+0 until end of turn. This is bad by the fact that we already have a better card. It's called Collision Colossus, and I don't see very narrow cases where this will be better than that card. It should have given something more, like First Strike or something. No, did not. Now here is Storm of Stone. 2 colorless, then red-white, red-white. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have First Strike, and equip abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. So, as I've said before, this card will probably not be played by anyone except maybe me, because I think it fits perfectly into my black-white Sigil Sword of Valor deck, because it makes Sigil Sword of Valor cheaper to equip, and it gives my... I also like playing the 1/2 Death Toucher in that deck, so this fits perfectly into that, because you can just make the ability cheaper to activate. You can have First Strike with Death Touch, which is amazing, and then it also acts as removal. So I like this card for that deck specifically, probably for no other deck ever, because there's no other activate abilities, and First Strike is mostly relevant if you have something like Death Touch. Next card, Narset, Parter of Veils. 1 colorless, 2 blue. This is a new card. Each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn, so it's an anti a lot of things. Anti Esper, anti Drakes, anti what's it called? Green enchantment, which untaps. Actually pretty good against gates also. Good against a lot of cards, a lot of decks. Not good against mono red, not good against mono white, not good. Decent against mono blue also. Might work, okay. -2. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from it and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Decent, honestly. One of the better uncommon planeswalkers. The thing is that the ability is relevant against a lot of popular decks right now. The only decks which it's not good against are the mono red and mono white, but at the same time you probably play this alongside Kaya's Wrath anyways. So your idea behind this guy is probably to find your Kaya's Wrath against those decks, and it's amazing against all decks which are not aggressive. So yeah, I think this will see play. Next card. Narset's Reversal. 2 blue. Copy target instant or sorcery spell, then return it to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. Oh! Mastermind's Acquisition, you say? So I play Mastermind's Acquisition, and then I get to play Mastermind's Acquisition, and I get to play Mastermind's Acquisition. Yes! Yes! I will brew around this card so hard. So much. Also, I've been thinking about, if you play Narset's Reversal on Narset's Reversal, you get both Narset's Reversals back, won't you? And then you can... That work. Let's say you play Shock, and then you play Narset's Reversal on Narset's Reversal. Don't you? No, you don't win the game because you can't pay that all that mana. But you get both Narset's Reversal back, so you can deal 2 damage every turn. That's not amazing. Oh no, you copy it also. You get 1 copy. You can deal 4 damage every turn with double Narset's Reversal and a Shock. Yeah, it's not horrible. Unlikely. I think this is something to brew around. It will not be in every deck, but it will be in some decks. It's very good to... it's not good, super good against your opponent's card. That's the problem, because they get it back to their hand. But you can do Q... No, you can't copy. I was thinking removal or something. And probably if you copy their removal... You copy the removal, they just play the removal again, so that's not good at all. Yeah, it's just good with your own cards, I would say. It's not good as... Some of these copy cards, like Expansion Explosion, you sometimes use in your opponent's card. This is not a card you want to use on your opponent's card. This is a card you want to use in your own cards. The most obvious one is Mastermind's Acquisition, and you can also play it with something like a Shock on... and double Narset's Reversal. We'll see if there's anything else that I haven't thought about. You maybe in the comment section, you can let me know if you found out something amazing that can do with this that I didn't think about. Next card. Neb! Dread Horde Champion! 2 colors, 2 red. Yeah, talked about this guy already. I don't like that he has 4 toughness. I think he should have had 5 toughness. But okay, when Neb deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, you may discard any number of cards. If you do, draw that many cards and add that much red mana. Until the end of your turn, you don't lose mana as steps and phases end. So this is very, very good if you do it with something like Big Red. And then you can get something like Apex of Power or something. But except for that, I don't really see this card working. Honestly, I mean, in most decks, your Killing Phoenix is just gonna be better. But if you do really big red spells and you want to play insanely big spells, then maybe this could work. Next card. Neoform is 1 green, 1 blue. I've talked about this card already. This is like... I don't remember what the card was cast. But what you do... I should read the card. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted cost equal to 1, plus the sacrifice creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, then shuffle your library. And this is another card which just enabled toolboxing. We already have the green card, which can search for a creature and put into play any creature of any color, by the way. Put it into play. And then Neoform. maybe you want both of them. All that toolboxing can't be bad, right? So some kind of toolbox deck. I could see this working in. It's not gonna be good in any deck. Just you know, put it in for value. No, it's just good with toolboxing. That's how I see this being played. New Horizons, 2 colors, 1 green, enchant land. Okay, we already have this card. Just reprint. Nicol Bolas, Dragon God. I'm not gonna spend too much time. I've already spent way too much time. It's amazing. If you can play this, it's almost Teferi good. The +1 is better than Teferi, the -3 is worse than Teferi. It has all the loyalty abilities, will own every planeswalker ever. That's pretty amazing. It has low loyalty, yes, but it doesn't matter, since all you want to do with Nicol Bolas is just +1 until your opponent concedes. Basically, this guy kind of has a way of thinking about it. The +1 is so good because it's almost like you've gotten off the ultimate with the Teferi with it, because you're gonna exile something until your opponent runs out of lands and runs out of everything, and just self-dies on his side of the board. And you don't even need to wait for that, because at -8 you will win anyways. So, yeah. Yeah, it's just amazing. Next card, I spent too much time on it, I know. Nissa's Triumph, 2 green. Search your library for up to 2 basic forests. If you control Nissa Planeswalker, instead search your library for up to 3 land cards. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. As far as I'm aware, there's not too many good Nissa Planeswalkers, so the second part will never happen. The first part is decent, but certainly not amazing. It's like a draw 2 for 2 for green. Get 2 forests. Might see play in some ramp deck. And if you build around Nissa, but otherwise, no. Here's Nissa, by the way. Whenever you tap a forest for mana, add an additional green. And this is Gauntlet of Power. Yes, this is a great card. We talk about. Okay, so there is a great Nissa, by the way. Is there really a great Nissa? Yes, there's a great Nissa. I know this is the weakness. Just look at those figures. You would understand that this Whammon is every man's weakness. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target non-creature land you control. Untap it. It becomes. Oh, you untap it also. It was a 0/0 elemental creature with vigilance and haste until end of turn. It's still a land. So you play this down on turn 5, and then you win the game, I think. Because you don't need a basic forest, you can have any forest. So you can have the blue-green forest, for instance, and you will get 1 green out of it. And I mean, you can play Omniscience and just win from there. You can play Mastermind's Acquisition and just win from there. This card enables you to win with most things. I've played Gilded Lotus a lot, and that works sometimes. This just seems better than Gilded Lotus. Also a little bit difficult to get rid of, with 5 loyalty immediately going up to 6. And you gain so much mana. I mean, think about this. You have 5 lands when you play this out. Next turn, you don't only get 10 mana. You get 12 mana, because you can untap 1 land with the plus ability, so you have 12 mana. Yeah, you can probably win with that. You can probably win with that. That is also if you did not put down a land. If you put down your 6th land, you have 14 mana. That's enough to search for an Omniscience with Masterminds, play Omniscience, and win with Omniscience. That's... Yep, that's how much mana that is. That's enough to win the game. Or you could just Banefire. Just win that way. That's a boring way of doing it. Like that. Sure, you can Banefire and win, but... Nah. You get an emblem with lands you control have indestructible. Search your library. This is -8, by the way. Search your library for any number of forest cards. Yep, it's a win. Kind of a way of winning with this card. But you're probably just gonna use this as a gauntlet, and sometimes you're just gonna have an amazing game where you get the ultimate of a win. But I think this will play just for the gauntlet effect, getting all that mana. Next card. Niv Mizzet Reborn. White, blue, black, green, green, red. Yes. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each color pair, choose a card that's exactly those colors from among them. Exactly. Okay, put the chosen cards into your hand and put the rest on the bottom. Okay, so it needs to be exactly. So I think this prevents you from playing something like 3 mana. That's 3 different colors. So for instance, if you have Bolas and because if you have both the Planeswalker Bolas and also have the Bolas the 4/4 flyer Bolas, you can't pick them both because they don't have the cards for each. No, you can. No, you can do that because then you can pick blue, red, and you can pick black, red. You can pick this. Okay, so this card is good if you can get it off, but as you can see, the colors makes it so that basically only one deck that I know of can play this, and that's the Gates deck. Or you can play it in a chromatic black deck or something. So it's either chromatic or Gates. I think that the chromatic deck don't want this because if you play this in something like chromatic black, then you're not probably gonna have so many multicolored cards that you can hit with this, because it's mostly not multicolored. It's mostly, you know, treasure maps and things which make things chromatic, so it's not good in that deck. So you need to play it in Gates, I think. I don't think this... I mean, in Gates you already have a couple of staples which you... like Gates Ablaze and Guild Summit. You at least need those cards. And doesn't hit those. So no, I don't see this guy really working. I'm sorry to say, maybe it's your favorite card, but I'm sorry, I don't see this working. If you know a way to get this work, then let me know in the comments. I'm happy to hear if you have something to make this card work. No escape to colors 1 blue, counter target creature or planeswalker spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard and scry 1. No, we already have 2 better counter spells than this for this. Oh my god, I love this card, by the way. 1 colors, 1 white, 1 black. 1 Oath of Kaya enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. This card is insanely strong. There was a... let's see here. A 1 white, 1 red card which did the exact same thing. It dealt 3 damage and you gained 3 life. This costs 1 more mana, but you actually get a very good ability from this. Whenever an opponent attacks a planeswalker you control with 1 or more creatures, Oath of Kaya deals 2 damage to that player and you gain 2 life. So if you play planeswalkers among this, which is what I guess you would do, then you will almost surely gain 2 life more than the bolt. So I would just play this as 4 of, honestly, because it's very good to deal 3 damage and gain 3 life. I mean, that by itself is good. If you compare this to Moment of Craving, I mean, it costs 1 more mana than Moment of Craving, but it hits a lot more targets. And it stays around with a relevant ability. And it doesn't matter if you play another one, because you can just sacrifice the old one that you have. It doesn't matter, it's legendary, so... it just prevents you from having multiple of these, because it would be quite horrible for your opponent if you gain like 8 life whenever they attack into one of your planeswalkers. Yeah, this is amazing in every way. You don't need to have planeswalkers with this, honestly. The effect is so strong that even if you have like no planeswalkers in the deck, it could still work. I think it's an amazing card. I think we'll see play. I think this is yet one more reason why all red decks need to run Tibalt to have any chance, I think, because it's so much life gain. Other reason why, you know, mid-range might come back, but there's a threat of control. There's the threat of control. We'll see what happens. Obnixilis Cruelty. 2 colors, 1 black. Target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. If that creature would die instead, exile it instead. Solid removal, especially against things like the Lich. Yes, I know. I didn't need to print anti-Lich card. There's so many anti-Lich cards though. I don't know if that Lich is gonna work in the coming expansion. There's so many sacrifice effects and -5. Yeah. Yep. We'll see. We'll see if that sees play though. There's so many good 2 mana removals. Obnixilis, the Hate Twisted, 3 colors, 2 black. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Obnixilis Hate Twisted deals 1 damage to that player, -2, destroy target creature. Its controller draws 2 cards. Yeah, as I said previously, this is not really good removal. First of all, it costs 5. It's good that whenever they draw a card, it deals 1 damage to them, but this is for something like... something which has only indestructible creatures. Like, let's say, for instance, you have Gideon and you have the Lich, for instance. And you can target Gideon with this and it won't destroy it because it's indestructible. And you will draw 2 cards. Something like that. But I think it's more cute than usable. Next card. 1 colors, 1 green. Paradise Druid has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Add 1 mana. So this kind of ensures that you'll get 1 mana off of it. Also, if you have an enchantment that gives vigilance, then it will always have hexproof. That be? Ooh! Sealed Sword of Valor. Pretty good with this. Play this turn 2, turn 3, Sealed Sword of Valor, turn 4. Put this... Oh, decent. Decent with Sealed Sword of Valor. Next card. Hellion 2. 6 colorless, 2 white, flying first strike vigilance, 5/5. Whenever it attacks, create a 2 or 4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance that are attacking crew 4. So this is basically impossible to get out in most games. This is why, in my opinion, this just belongs in a Kharn the Great Creator sideboard, and you just tutor for it in those rare cases where you can actually play it out. Next card. Celebration Planar. This is probably Portuguese. If I learned something, if I learned something from all the comments, is that whenever I think something is Spanish, it's always Portuguese. Because I think there's a lot of Brazilian players out there. So they spoil a lot of cards in Portuguese. That would be my guess. Elige 4. Puedes elegir el mismo modo más de una vez. That's my best impression. Probably horrible, because Portuguese probably doesn't sound like that at all. But sure. So I checked up this card. It says choose one or... Let's see here. Choose 4 or more, and you can choose the same thing multiple times. So it's 7 mana. You can create a 2/2. You can... Regresa la carta de permanente objetivo de tua cementerio. A mano. I don't remember what that did, unfortunately. Then it's of course Proliferator. Ganat for Vida is gain for life. So you can either gain for life 4 times if you're really in a bad spot. You can get 2/4 tokens, or you can, you know, alternate between these. You get 4 of these effects. You can choose in any way you want. It's 7 mana though, so I don't see this ever being played. Even in my Mastermind's Omniscience sideboard, I don't see it's being played because it doesn't win you the game, so nope. Pledge of Unity. 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white. Put a +1 counter on each creature you control. Gain 1 life for each creature you control. If we compare this to the one which gives indestructibility, that is much better. I mean, sure, this is better against mono red, but against everything else, the cards that we have already are better, so no. All White Druid, 1 colorless, 1. When it enters battlefield, choose 1, put a +1 counter on target creature, or Proliferate. Yes, as I've said before, I don't think Proliferate is... I think this is just for limited. The only time you would use Proliferate, or would you want Proliferate, is where you can get a lot of Proliferate, and that can't provide that, so it is a no. Unseen Lynx is a 1 colorless, 1 white, and as long as your turn it's a first strike, so it's horrible. Next card, Price of Betrayal. 1 black. Remove up to 5 counters from target artifact, creature, planeswalker, opponent. So Marred Large, Malag, however it's pronounced, another way, enabling it. Yeah, counter Simic Ascendancy. Think about it. No, it can't even do that because it got removed from enchantments for some reason. Counter Treasure Map. Yeah, it's good planeswalker removal for some planeswalkers, but a lot of planeswalkers have a lot of loyalty, so I don't know. It's very good in a Mastermind's Acquisition sideboard. That much I can say. It's 1 mana. Yeah, sideboard Masterminds. Next card, Primordial Worm, 6 mana. Next card, Prismite, 2 colors, and 2 to add 1 mana of any color. If it would have been a 1-to-1 conversion, it would have been something, but it's not, so card. Prison Realm, 2 colors, 1 white. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls until Prison Realm leaves the battlefield. Target creature or planeswalker. When Prison Realm enters the battlefield. Oh, so it's an Oblivion Ring. For creatures and planeswalkers. This could see play, but I think that the tools we have already are better, like Ixalan's Binding. It's not that different. I mean, because the mana cost is still so high with 3. That Scry I don't think affects anything, to be honest. I think Ixalan's Binding is just better. In my humble opinion. And I'm very, very humble. Always. I see, of course, no. Raging Crunch. Raging Crouch. Right? Can't attack alone. Yeah. Next card. I'm sorry if I skip over your favorite common cards, but no. 1 colorless, 1 white. Instant. Untap all creatures you control. Creatures you control with flying get +2/+2 until end of turn. So some kind of flyers deck could be cute. Mono blue. Mono blue. The white card. They can't play. They just have it anyway because it's so good, so it doesn't even matter. Think about it. Doesn't even matter if they play this, they still win against you. Think about it. When they win, they have like 8 cards in their hand anyways. So, next card. Rawl's Outburst. 2 colors, 1 blue, 1 red. It deals 3 damage to any target. Look at the top 2 cards, put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Yes, I talked about this earlier. And my conclusion with this is that it's good as a one-of. It's a little bit narrow that it can only kill something with 3 toughness. If you try to kill a creature with it, so it will probably, it's like a beacon bolt. It's in a position where you probably only want 1 of it. Next card. Rawl Storm Conduit. 2 colors, 1 blue, 1 red. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Rawl Storm Conduit is 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. +2, scry 1, and -2. Whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell, you may choose new targets for a copy. So a lot of people have found pointed out that this is very easy to combo win with. You can just play any spell that copies another spell, and then copy another copy of that spell, and then they will copy. Forever, I think. Right? Play 1 copy. Play another copy, copying the first copy, which will create another copy, which create another copy, which create another copy, which create another copy, which create another copy. And whenever you create a copy, it deals 1 damage. So yes, that should work. It should work. So yeah, we'll probably see play because of that interaction. And I mean, there's Expansion Explosion and other cards that are good. So it's not super unlikely to happen. Ravnica at War. 3 colors and 1 white. Exile all multicolored permanents. Mastermind's Acquisition sideboard. No, I know that a lot of people they've been like, lands, destroy gates. No, it doesn't work like that. They're not multicolored. Damn it! Not multicolored. It works against a few cards, but I think it's too narrow. It doesn't do anything. Mono white, mono blue. You know, like if you go through all the decks and look at the cards that it actually hits, it's very, very few cards. So next card. Relentless Advance. 3 colors, 1 blue. Amass 3. No. Rescue Sphinx. 2 colors, 2 blue. As it enters the battlefield, you may return a non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. If you do, it ends the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. No. 1 colors, 1 green. Choose 1. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, exile target card from a graveyard. No, it's just for limited. Or you can, yeah, sure. A lot of these cards which I say it's just for limited, you could also do it in the sideboard. Like some of them are specifically good in one particular matchup, maybe. 2 colors, 1 white. Whenever another creature or planeswalker you control dies, put up. Roalesque Apex Hybrid. I'm happy to see the art for this. Had a very blurry picture last time. 2 colors, 2 green, 1 blue. When it enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counter on another target creature you control. When it dies, proliferate, then proliferate again. Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to play this probably with the card which searches for a card. What's it called? Vanifor, Prime Speaker Vanifor. The problem is Prime Speaker Vanifor is not good enough yet. So sure, you can build a Yank deck around this, but it will not be good enough, in my opinion, for any top meta deck. No, I don't think it will be good enough. Even though you get some value with the counters, and you do get some values with the Proliferate, and if you have Vanifor, you will surely get both effects off. No, I don't see this working out. It's too little. It doesn't. The thing is, it doesn't work by itself. You put the counters on another target creature you control, so you need to have another creature. It doesn't work by itself, and that's, yeah. And then proliferate again. Again doesn't work with itself. So roll reversal. 2 blue, 1 red. Exchange control of 2 target permanents that share a permanent type. I thought this would work differently. I think I was wrong in my last video. I said that this would probably work with Proliferator. You target your Proliferator and another creature, but the thing is, since and it shuffles into his library, and I thought you would not exchange anything from your side, but you still get the creature. I don't think it works like that. I think since that target is invalid, it will not exchange anything, and the combo will not work. I don't see really how to get this to work. If you have any, except giving shit creatures or something away. If you have any suggestions for role reversal, then let me know, because I'm out of ideas for this card. Rubble Belt, Rioters. I need a drinker. I need a drink. When it attacks, it gets plus X plus 0 until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. No. Next card. Chili's Silverwing. 4 colors. When Chili's Silverwing enters battlefield, look at the top card of the target opponent's library. Shahili, Sublime Artificer. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless servant artifact creature token. Ooh. We're getting a hero precinct one here. Okay, -2 target artifact you control becomes the copy of another artifact or creature you control until end of turn, except it's an artifact in addition. Oh my god, you can do shenanigans with this. Oh my god! Oh my god, you can do shenanigans with this. What shenanigans can you do? What shenanigans can you do with this? You can turn an artifact into a creature. It's only until end of turn, but you can... Something with Helm of the Host and this. I just have to think about it. I just can't, on the spot, do something. But the ability is good in by itself. Create a 1/1 artifact whenever you play a non-creature spell. You can just play all the spells. I have to think about the -2. I don't see it right now, but definitely something around that card. Target +2. The target creature gets +2/+1 and gains haste on the end of turn. Try 1. Well, we already have haste spells which are better, so I would say no there. Samut Tyrant Smasher. 2 colorless, then red-green. Creature control of haste. Samut, buddy. You're a little bit late to the party. Okay. -1. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. I mean, it's good to give every creature you have haste, but... I mean, if you compare this to Domra, which also gives everything haste, and can find... No, that can't ever work. Okay. Sarkhan's Catharsis. 4 colorless and 1 red. Sarkhan's Catharsis deals 5 damage to target player or planeswalker. Max, sure. For some weird burn deck, which is not super competitive, then it will work, I think. Ooh, here's a card I like! Here's a card I like! Always get so surprised when I see a good card. Whenever creature... You have to think about this in Magic. Most of the cards that they print in a set are not supposed to be super good. That's how it is. I mean, they print the cards for a lot of things. They print it for Legacy and Modern. We have seen a lot of those cards in the set, which are for older sets. They print cards for Standard, of course. They print cards for Limited. They print cards for EDH. I mean, it's such a mix of cards that not everything is gonna be super good in Standard, right? So, which I care most about. Sarkhan the Masterless. Looking good without a shirt, huh? Okay, whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, each dragon deals 1 damage to that creature. That's pretty nice. Means your planeswalkers can never die to 1/1s. Because then they will kill everyone! Oh, it's each dragon, so if you have 2 dragons... then they can't die to 2/2s, and 3 dragons, then they can't die to 3/3s. I like this card. Why do I like this card? First, we're gonna read the -3. Create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. So immediately you get a 4/4/5. That's not amazing. But next turn, until end of turn, each planeswalker you control becomes a 4/4 red dragon creature token and gains flying. This means that Sarkhan himself is a 4/4. So you get 2 4/4s flyers for 5 mana. That's a good deal. That's a really good deal. And also it has a relevant ability which makes it hard to attack in with him with small creatures, because his token that he created will just eat them up. So yes, this is a very good card. Definitely see play. How many? 2, 3, maybe. It's a very, very good card. 2 4/4s for, and even if you have more planeswalkers, it just gets better. It's good by itself because it creates 2 4/4s. But if you have another, you know, shit planeswalker just lying around, turn that into a dragon, and it's amazing. Next card, Shriek Diver. I weirdly both like the art and not like the art. It's like, seems like it's made in a computer or something with the feet there fading. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, just for limited. I should not even waste time on that. Silent Submersible. 2 blue. When Silent Submersible deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, draw a card. That's good. And crew 2, and then we're back to horrible. Okay. Yeah, it's another one of those crew things. Crew things are hard to get working unless they're very, very good. I mean, we already have a card like this. It's 4 mana though. I need to crew with 2 or 3. What's that? The Weatherlight or something. That's his 0 play. So I don't see this seeing any play at all. You need to have a creature. As long as they can creep 1 creature away, this will have done nothing for you. Nope, no, I don't see it working. Single combat, 3 colors, 2 white. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifice the rest. Players can't cast creature or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn. I know there were a lot of people loving this card. I personally hate this card. I think it's horrible. I'm gonna explain my reasoning. I don't know that a lot of people say that you can gain a lot of value. Yes, but I think that scenario where you gain a lot of value from this is going to be much more rare than the scenario where this is just horrible and does nothing. So each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifice the rest. So as long as they only have 1 creature, 1 planeswalker, 1 something, your opponent isn't gonna lose anything. Players can't cast creature or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn, so you can't cast them. On your next turn, you can't cast them. Well, yeah, sure, your opponent can't cast them also, but he's proceeding pretty with his creature and planeswalker anyway, so he's not really worried about anything. It doesn't solve any problems, and that's what I think Magic cards should do. They should solve a problem, and this doesn't solve anything. I mean, it solves the problem when your opponent has completely flooded the board with 100 creatures. Then sure, in combat is good, but then Raskus or Kai's Wrath is just better, and the Kai's Wrath can even be used if there's just 1 creature. Yeah, that's just my humble opinion. Next card, Sky Theater Strix. I love Strix, by the way, but this is not one of the good ones, unfortunately. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Sky Theater Strix gets +1, +0 until it's it's not horrible. It's horrible, but it's not good enough, I don't think. Oh, if they just can't they just print the old black-blue Strix? It's so dang good. Oh, dang good. One of the best creatures. One of my favorite creatures of all time. The black-blue mana Strix. So 1/1 flyer for 1 death touch. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Just such simple, perfect card. Removal, which draws you cards. Just makes life horrible for every deck which tries to do something. Okay. Snare Spinner. 1 colorless, 1 green. Solar Blaze! 2 colorless, 1 red, 1 white. Each player creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. I talked about this earlier, and I actually think it's good because it's good against all the current meta decks. The mono red, the mono blues, everything has at least as much power or more than it has toughness, so it will kill everything. And you can also set it up so that your creatures don't die, of course. You have higher toughness, you may play some rarer creatures, which most people don't play. And that way I can really see this working. As a board clear. It will be a rare case where it does not clear the board for you. So I like this card. Next card, Swirl Thirst. 2 black, this 2 damage target creature, and you gain 2 life. No! We already have the -2/-2, which is just better. That can be used as a combat trick. This can't, or well, it can in some cases if you have First Strike, for instance, but in most cases it can't. So if you want more Moments of Craving, then maybe, but in most cases, no. Moments of Craving. Oh my god, this card, I love this card. Another card which I will immediately create 4 of. Yes, 4 of. Even though I might not even play 4 of them. Yeah, it's so good. As long as your turn creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. Yes, thank you very much. +2. Yeah, planeswalkers have lifelink. So you can... Well, probably what I want to do with this guy is I want to play this with Gideon and the Lich and Adanto Vanguard. So everything, and Kaya's Wrath, and just Wrath the board and lifelink. That's what I want to do. This guy. Also, I haven't even read the entire card. +2, it deals 1 damage target player planeswalker, so that means you gain 1 life, and yeah, you ping for 1 and you gain 1 life. Okay. -X, return target creature card with converted mana cost X or less from a graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. So what you can do with this, of course, is that you can return your Lich, which happens to cost 3. So that's something. If you ever get rid of your Lich, you can just turn after, return it with Sorin. It's pretty amazing. Also good to return your Adanto Vanguard, which then gives lifelink. Yeah, it's amazing in every way. I mean, having this kind of an enchantment, like if this was only an enchantment for 4 mana, your creatures have lifelink, it would be good. But it has more abilities. It can even reanimate stuff, so it's just insane. I love this card. It's such a mid-rangey, good card which enables all the decks that I want to play. So yes, next card. Soul Diviner. 1 blue, 1 black. Remove a counter from an artifact, creature, land, or planeswalker you control. Draw a card. Oh, it's only you control. So fun if it's your opponents and they play a treasure map and you're like, Soul Diviner. What do you want to... Yeah, this could work. There's a lot of planeswalkers now which have insane amounts of loyalty. And you can just remove a counter from them every turn. Like those would come into play with like 7 loyalty. You can just take 1 away every turn. You don't want to do this for treasure map. It's horrible treasure map because those are very valuable. Very, very valuable. I could do this with +1/+1 counters. Creatures, but no. I think planeswalkers with insanely high loyalty is the target for this guy. And then it's decent. Draw a card every turn. 2/3. Doesn't die to every removal. It's not super duper amazing, because you need to build around it, and it probably forces you to have cards in your deck which you would otherwise not run, so it's probably not going to be top tier competitive. It's gonna be something. Definitely gonna build something around this card. Spark Double. 3 colors, 1 blue. You may have it enter as a copy of a creature or planeswalker you control, except it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. The creature, and then it's with an additional loyalty counter if it's a planeswalker, and it isn't legendary if that permanent is legendary. Ooh. Okay, so I'm so bad at remembering all the new planeswalkers that we have in this set. What would you want to copy with this? I think if I turn it into... Oh no. It's pretty good. Turn after Gideon to get another Gideon. Pretty good with that. It's probably the best 3 mana planeswalker copy. Because it's so strong. It's very annoying for your opponent to have to deal with 2 Gideons, which are indestructible and lifelink and all that. Yeah, it's pretty decent in a Gideon deck. I don't know that you really want to have blue in that deck though. But I can't come up with another... It needs to be a 3 mana planeswalker, which it's good with. Because if it's 4 mana, then you need to, play this on turn 5, and then it's not as good. You might have play it with other planeswalkers, but I think you should aim to play it with a 3 mana planeswalker, and it should be really, really good with a 3 mana planeswalker. And the only one which comes to mind now is Gideon. Of course, you can do it. You could also play it with the Teferi Time Reveler. It's also good with that, because that can give you can play Time Reveler, bounce a creature to their hand, draw a card, next turn Spark Double your Time Reveler, return a creature to their hand, and just at some point you have another Spark Double then, and Time Reveler, and return a creature to their hand. At some point you will have so many Time Revelers that at every turn you will have a return creature effect on the board. Can revel them to death. Yeah, it might work like that. Oh, it sounds horrible to face up against. Oh, I want to build that deck. I want to build that deck. Everyone's gonna hate it. Ah, next card. Spark Harvest, 1 black. As an additional cost, the cost is spell, sacrifice a creature, or pay 3 colors, 1 black. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. This is for Mardu aristocrats, I would guess. Is borderline playable in that deck? I don't know how this interacts with the Jund deck. For instance, if you can play this with the Arcanist, then it might be good. Because then you can attack in and you can cast the spell. But I think it doesn't work because it has an additional cost there. So that's the only interaction I would see. But again, if you know an interaction with this, which I haven't seen really, then let me know in the comments. Spark Reaper, 2 colors, 1 black. Also, you can copy it. It's quite good to copy. 3 colors, sacrifice a creature or planeswalker. You spell gorge, spell keep, steady aim. 1 colors, 1 green. I'm only gonna mention this because I got owned by tower defense in one of my games. So yes, it might be amazing, but I think this is horrible. Untap the creature, get +1/+4. This for limited. Next one. Stealth mission. Put 2+1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That creature can't be blocked this turn. Yes, another card which I will never see play. 4 colors, 1 green. I'm gonna eat those words. Maybe there's a weird deck which no, can't eat. Until end of turn, creature you control get +2/+2 and gain. Whenever this creature deals combat damage on player or planeswalker, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. So it's like a mini overrun or whatever it was called. You don't gain trample, but gain +2/+2. I don't think this works. And the thing is, against most decks you're not going to be up against artifacts and enchantments. That's a problem. And just gaining +2/+2 is not good enough. You could just, instead of this, play the dude which buffs all your creatures and gives them twice as much power until end of turn. So, nope. Store of Devkarin Lich, colorless black, green. Again, dies to Lava Call, trample. When it deals combat damage on player or planeswalker, return to your hand target creature or planeswalker card in your graveyard that wasn't put there. It's combat. So again, this card is decent, absolutely. It has a effect which is very much relevant, but doesn't give you any value when it comes into play, and it's kind of easy to get rid of. So it doesn't get killed by cast down. That's its most redeeming quality, I would say. I don't really see this, but I know that you in the comment sections you love this card, so I'm not gonna go. I mean, it's not horrible at all. It's decently good. It's just so close to be really good. Next card, Sunblade Angel, 5 colors, 1 white. Flying first, Vigilance, Lifelink. Tamio, Collector of Tales, 2 colors, 1 green, 1 blue. Spells and abilities your opponent control can't cause you to discard or sacrifice permanents. Might be irrelevant actually, because there's a lot of sacrificing effects. Choose a non-land card name, then reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all cards with the chosen name from among them into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. So okay, non-land. I'm gonna name island. Yes, there's an island there. Okay. -3. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Ooh! Oh! Oh! Okay. Masterminds acquisition. Calling it. Search for this, Masterminds. Tamio Collector, return your Masterminds, play your Masterminds. And that's pretty good. Something like that. Something with Masterminds. Something with Masterminds. This could work. Next card. Tamio's Epiphany. 3 colors, 1 blue. Scry 4, then draw 2 cards. Teferi's Time Twist. 1 colors, 1 blue. Exile target permanent you control, then return it to the battlefield at the beginning of your next end step. If this was a creature and enters with an additional +1/+1 counter. I don't see this working. There's nothing that's really good to blink. There's certainly no Thrag Tusks or anything in the set, so no. Oh my god! The Fairy Time Raveler. The more I think about this card, the more I think that this might be one of the best planeswalkers ever. I don't know if I'm overblowing this card, but it just seems to me, the more I think about this, isn't this one of the best planeswalkers ever? This is like Liliana Vess territory. I mean, Liliana Vess is better because they sacrifice that creature. This just returns to the hand, but this here you also draw a card. And it's very good that it stops all counter spells. Stops a lot of shenanigans. And you remove their creatures. And you may cast sorcery spell. Yeah, I don't know. This just seems so powerful. I don't know what I'm missing with this card. Isn't this one of this... Is this not the second best planeswalker ever printed after Liliana Vess? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe there's something I'm not understanding here, but it just seems OP to me. Whenever you cast a spell that targets 10th District Legionnaire, put a +1/+1 counter on 10th. Next card. Oh my god, next card. Teo, the Shield Mage. I do love that this guy looks like a Jedi, but except for that, there's not much love here. You have Hexproof. That's good. We have never gotten this for 3 mana before, not that I know of, at least. Create a 0/3 white wall creature token with Defender. I'm not sold on this guy, even though it's very cheap to get off, and you get 2 0/3s. The only... Oh, wait. Arcanis? Isn't there another planeswalker which made everything deal damage? Oh, but still a wall. And attack with it. Nope, I don't see it with this. Let me know in the comment section. I know some of you like this card. I don't see it. You know how to utilize this, then let me know. Because I want to brew weird stuff. I will see. Oh my god, I love this card so much. Okay, Tesseract the Master of the Bridge. 4 colors, 1 blue, 1 black. Creatures and planeswalkers spell you cast have affinity for artifacts. This is another one of those planeswalkers which I think is just the ability, the static which makes him. It's the same with Nissa or Nerissa or whatever she's called. You know, my weakness, that lady. It's the same thing there. It's just so strong because of that ability. I have a flip treasure map and maybe 1 artifact, like a Hallowed Fountain or something. Hallowed Fountain, no, that's an artifact. Fountain of Renewal. And then you just play Karn and do weird stuff. You just go off with your entire hand. It's like a combo starter which just can do insane stuff. +2, it deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of artifacts you control and you gain X life. That's good. I mean, you're probably gonna have something like 4 artifacts out, so you're gonna gain... your opponent's gonna lose 4 life, gonna gain 4 life. That's pretty good. -3, return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. That's rarely relevant. I don't know about any artifacts that you want to sacrifice that early, except for maybe a Hallowed Fountain. No, not Hallowed Fountain. Fountain of Renewal! Could have been sacrificed. Exile the top card of your library. Put all artifacts from among them. 10 cards. Put all artifacts from among them onto the battlefield. Yes, that's decent. I mean, an artifact deck doesn't win you the game, but it doesn't have to. I mean, the static ability is what makes this guy. And yes, you will see me brew around it with all the Karns coming into play, searching for more artifacts, playing them out, everything just happening in 1 turn. The Elder spell. Destroy any number of target planeswalkers. Choose a planeswalker you control. Put 2 loyalty counts on it. Each planeswalker destroyed this way. I don't think this will be main decked, but this for sure will make it into my Masterminds acquisition sideboard. Another reason why Masterminds, I think, will maybe get banned, because it's so darn good! Especially if Wizards keep pushing for best of 1, which they have a lot, then it will be even better. The Wanderer, 3 colors, 1 white, prevent all non-combat damage that will be dealt to you and other permanents you control. -2, exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Yeah, it's good against burn, and the -2 is good against mono green. I don't think this card holds together, and I don't think it warrants a slot in a Mastermind sideboard, so for me this is a no, but let me know. I do like that you don't know who this is, you don't have a creature type and all that, yada yada yada, but the card kind of doesn't do it for me. Thunder Drake, 3 colors, 1 blue. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a +1 counter on Thunder Drake. It's 4 mana, so nah. Okay, Tybalt, Rakish, Instigator. This is what the red decks I think will have to play to have any chance, because there's so much life gain now in everything. Amass has life gain, Orso has life gain, probably Esper has life gain, because you probably play Gideon now, because why not? Yeah, it will have to be played there for sure, because you need to prevent life gain from your opponent. -2, create a red devil. You basically create a Footlight Fiend. You create 2 Footlight Fiends and your opponent can't gain life. And yes, I think this will be... I mean, it is, in a vacuum, it's worse than the card you already have in Mono Red. So Mono Red have better cards than this as it is. But because I think this ability will be so relevant in the upcoming standard, I think you will have to play. You will have no choice but to play Tybalt, Mono Red players. And I'm so happy about that. Next card. Tybalt's Rager. 1 colorless, 1 red. When it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And then +2... 2 mana to get +2/+0. No. I mean, Devil Tribal, but no. Time Wipe is 2 colors, 2 white, and a blue for a Wrath effect. And you can also return a creature to your hand. This is like the obvious combo with the Fairy Time Raveler and the Mystic Snake or whatever. Mystic something. You return a creature to your hand, it's like made for Bant control. But I think Kai's Wrath in most cases would be better, but yeah, I mean, you can play this without having access to black. So yeah, Bant control. Probably a thing. Super Friends kind of stuff. Maybe. Tide Bearer Giant. 5 colors, 1 black. Next one. Toll of the Invasion. 2 colors, 1 black. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an online card from it. That player discards that card. Amass 1. No, not even an Amass deck would want this. Tolsimir. Tolarian Academir. Tolarian... oh no, Tolarian Community Collegier. Friend of Wolves. Yeah, you get 2 3/3s. You get a fight. You get 3 life. Already read this card. My verdict still stands. I think it's narrow, and if you play this, you probably play it as a one-of, because it's very, very narrow when it's good, but when it's good, it's really, really good, but it's very few cases when this is good. Tomic, Distinguished Advocist. Lands on the battlefield and land cards in your graveyards can't be target of spells or abilities your opponent control. Your opponents can't play lands cards from the graveyard. So this is only against other formats. Next card. Topple the Statue, 2 colors, 1 white, tap target permanent. If it's an artifact, destroy it, draw a card. No, not even Mastermind's sideboard. Totally Lost for... Oh, that's for Lepethep! It was in the other Totally Lost, by the way. There was another... This is a reprint. It wasn't that art also. 4 colors, 1 blue. Put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. No, I don't see it. That means... No. Trusted Pegasus. Oh, is that Gideon? Or is that a Wham? No, is that a Whammon with sidebirds? Or is that Gideon? I don't know. Whenever Trusted Pegasus attacks target attacking creature with flying gains... Without flying gains flying. With flying gains flying? Okay. Yeah, so it's like the Pegasus we have, but it's a little bit better because it's a 2/2 instead of a 1/3. Just for limited though. Started limited. Tyrant Scorn. Blue and black. I do love the colors there. Destroy target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. Ooh, most things actually cost 3 or less, so this kills most things, and it's an instant. Wow, this is good, okay. Or return target creature to its owner's hand. So if it costs more, you also have a way to kind of semi-deal with it. At least for 1 turn. Good card. We'll see play. We'll definitely see play. Next card. Ugin's Conjurant. X. This is an interesting card. It's not an artifact, and I would think we've never seen a card like this. Cheers. Ugin's Conjurant enters the battlefield with X+1 counters on it. If damage would be dealt to Ugin's Conjurant while it has a +1/+1 counter, prevent that damage and remove that many +1. I don't get why that second clause is there. Okay, so you pay X, you get an XX creature. And then when damage is dealt to it, you remove... Oh, okay, so it's to make it a little bit more horrible. Okay, now I get what his second class is there. So everything against it has... Oh, what was that ability? It was an ability which, whenever you dealt damage, any creature that took that damage got so many -X, or -1 count or something. So basically it has that, so it has a very big drawback. It's a 1/1 for 1, or it's a 2/2 for 2. Spirit Monk. I don't know, maybe there's something that I'm missing here that makes this good, but it just seems like worse than all the Hydras, except it can be played in any color. That's the only upside I see of this. And it can be played for 0, so you can play this with the white card that we saw earlier. That creates something when you play a creature spell. Maybe, I don't know. Ugin the Ineffable. Ineffable, yes. 6 colorless. Colorless spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Wow, is this another one which goes into my Tesseract deck? Wow, there's so many cards I want there. Wow, okay. Exile the top cards. The top card of your library face down, because you can probably play this for something like 2, and then... Oh, yeah. This is good. This is good, because this also works with artifacts. Okay. Exile the top card of your library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token. When the token leaves the battlefield, put the extra card into your hand. Oh, so it's an awkward way of drawing card with a +1. Okay. -3. Destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Oh! Oh! Ugin comes in, so it's a removal for 6, but you're probably never gonna play 6, because you're gonna play this with Tesseract and you're gonna make him cost 1 or 2 mana or something, and then he's gonna make all your artifacts cost no mana. And then you're gonna... Yeah. Yeah, the Alpha Strike Tesseract Karn Great Creator Karn deck is slowly taking form. I think you probably want only one of this in the deck, but in that deck it's good. Unlikely Aid, 1 colorless, 1 black. Ooh, that demon. That demon is Diablo. You did not know. It is Diablo. It's Diablo 3 though, unfortunately. The Diablo 2 one was much smexier. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. New. Unlikely Aid. Why is Gideon riding a demon, by the way? No one will ever ride me again, Gideon. Expect no further favors. Raktus. Oh, something about the story there. Vampire Opportunist. 1 colorless, 1 black. 7 mana. Each bundles 2 life in game. 2 life. Yeah. Vivian Champion of the Wilds. You may cast creature spells as though they had flash. It's a decent ability. This is another one which I think goes with the whole Arcbow theme. You play Vivian, you play this. You can have anything enter at the... You can kind of count of, if you have both Vivian Champion of the Wilds and you have the Arcbow, you can kind of count on being able to play creatures at the end of your opponent's turn, so you can have creatures which are very good if you can do that. Until your next turn, up to 1 target creature against Vigilance and Reach. That's quite horrible, but fine. It's decent against the Breaks deck at least. -2, look at the top 3 cards. Yeah, this... look at the top 3 cards, exile 1 of them face down and put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. For as long as it remains exiled, you may look at the card and you may cast it if it's a creature card. It's good that it can't be exiled. It's a top 3, so if you have a lot of creatures, you'll probably hit a creature with it. It's definitely decent. But, I don't know. There's so many good cards that, I don't know. Yeah, and this is the other card we should go with it, of course. I think it's a good card. I know some people hate this, some people love it. I was in the super love camp, now I'm more in the decent card camp. X, discard a card, look at the top X cards of your library. You may put a creature card with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is obviously good with Belepethip, that's the most obvious combo, but it's good with anything. I mean, late game you can just discard land cards and you can put something into play. The problem with it is that legendaries you only want 1 maybe. And I mean, even if it wasn't legendary, you probably wouldn't want to play it, so yeah, a 1-of, and it's pretty good, I think. Vivian's Grizzly. No. No. Raska's finisher. 2 colors, 1 black. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature or planeswalker and opponent control that was dealt damage this turn. I know some of you like this. I don't like this really at all. Because it's only 1 creature. So you play this, and in the best case, where you probably have lost a creature to even enable this, because you probably have traded with a creature. I mean, it's in the best case you attack into a planeswalker and you kill that planeswalker with Raska's finisher, but in many cases, you will have attacked into a creature, lost a creature for the sake of being able to play Raska's finisher, and then it's just a slightly better Ravenous Chupacabra. So, no, I don't see that working. Raska, Swarm's Eminence. 2 colors, black, green, black, green. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch is damaged to a player or planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Lenitas -2. Create a 1/1 black sassy creature token with Death Touch. Whenever this creature does damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. So I actually changed my opinion a little bit on this. There's a few things with Death Touch. And a few things which are coming in this set which have Death Touch. So it could work, but I think it's a little bit gimmicky still. I do like that it works with itself. And I think that it's really good that it can kill planeswalkers, because that will be relevant. But no. I mean, if you compare this to like Time Raveler. Like, Time Raveler is better and it costs 1 less mana. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Wall of Runes. On blue. Wall of Runes ends battlefield, scry 1. Very much, this is something for the Arcanis deck, maybe. Wonder Strike, 4 colors, 1 white, exile target creature, then proliferate. No, no. War Screecher. No. Widespread Brutality. 1 colors, 1 black, 2 red. Amass 2, then the army you amassed deals damage equal to its power to each non-army creature. Yes, this is a board sweeper for an Amass deck. I definitely see it is like an auto-include. It's like one of the best cards in the Amass deck, I think. And we'll definitely play in that deck. It's a board sweeper which sweeps your opponent's board, but not your own board. It's 4 mana, so it's decently costed, and you're probably going to have something out. So you're probably going to deal somewhere between... I mean, you get a guaranteed 2, but you maybe even get 4, 5, or 6 off with this, and you get the entire board. On Crop Invader, 2 colors and 1 red. As long as your turn, On Crop Invader has first strike, 1 colorless, sacrifice another creature. On Crop Invader gets +2/+0. Why do I even read that? Okay, Aid the Fallen, 1 colorless, 1 black, choose 1 or both, return target creature to your hand, return planeswalker to card to your hand. I talked about this last time, and my opinion still stands on this card. Basically, it will be a rare case where you have both a creature card and a planeswalker card in your graveyard, even if you have about 50-50. It's easier to build a deck with like a finality, because then you can only have a lot of creatures and you can for sure make sure you can return 2 creatures. Here you will sometimes get it off, sometimes not, so no. Johnny's Pridemate, we already know of. Johnny the Great-Hearted. I was hyped when I saw this. And now I feel like this could only work in one deck. And that's the Bola Citadel deck. We're gonna read this card though. Please control a Vigilance. I know a lot of you love Vigilance. I'm not a fan of Vigilance. I think it's not as strong as people think it is. +1, you gain 3 life. That is good. That's what I like this card. -2, put a +1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. So this card should be run alongside both creatures and planeswalkers, so it kind of fits in a super fence deck. But the problem with it is that for one, you only want to run 1 because it's not super threatening, so your opponent is not probably gonna, prioritize killing this guy. And his +1 only gains you 3 life, but I think that this guy works in a Bola Citadel deck. We'll get to Bola Citadel. Angrath, Captain of Chaos, 2 colors, black red. Creatures control a Menace. Menace is good, but it's not good enough, I don't think. Even within a mass deck where you have a very big amassed token, I don't think that is good enough. Might see play of as a one-of because it's nice giving that ability to your amassed super big token. But I doubt it. Sounds like such a snob, but I doubt it. Okay, Angrath's Rampage. I've been praising this card every day, so it doesn't need more praise. It's good, it's versatile, it can deal with creatures, can deal with planeswalkers. Target player, choose one, target player sacrifice an artifact, or a creature, or planeswalker. Amazing. Arboreal Grazer. 1 green, reach. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. It's a mono ramp, so this is like the perfect card, I would say, for an Arcanist deck. This is the card you want in Arcanist. This is the card that can even make it great again, make it decent, because it can ramp you on your first turn, and all you want in that deck is... Oh, it doesn't even have Defender. Doesn't even have Defender. Oh, that's good. So it works with all the other cards which are not Arcanist also. So yeah, some kind of deck like that, which have a lot of effects, and we have a lot of them now. Have a lot of them, so it work in a deck like that, which turns toughness into power. That's very good. You put this down on turn 1, you get an extra land into play. Turn 2, you can play either tower defense or the planeswalker, which turns toughness into power and attacking for 3, turn 2, and then just keep going. Good solid card in that archetype. Next card, Arlene's Wolf. 2 colors, 1... No. Arlene, Voice of the Pack. Okay, yeah, sure. 4 colors, 2 green. Each creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. And then you can create a 3/3 wolf. It's a 2/2, but it enters with a +1 counter on it, so a 3/3 wolf. So you get, let's see. Over time, you will get 3/3 wolves. It will take forever. It will take, honestly, forever. No, I don't see this being played. The thing is, there's no wolves or werewolves that I'm aware of that's even being played. This would have worked back in, of course, Innistrad. I think it was Innistrad where you had all these wolves and werewolves. Yeah, next card. Ashok Dream Render. 1 colors, 1 blue-black, 1 blue-black. Spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause their controller to search their library. Oh, okay, so I thought it was all spells and force them to search the library, because then you would have been able to play cards. Okay, sure. -1, target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into the graveyard, then exile each opponent's graveyard. So this is another card which works with Follow Thran, I guess. Can play Follow Thran and then activate Ashok's -1. But I don't know that the spells and abilities your opponent control can cause your controller to search your library is very relevant. Other than sideboard, I don't see this guy being played. And also with the... If you follow Thran, and if you really want to go into the Follow Thran thing. Ashok's Skulker. 4 colors, 1 blue. Ogre Bolus. Yes, I've already praised this card a lot, and I think it's still amazing. When it enters the battlefield, you look at top 3 cards of your library, you may reveal an instant or sorcery and put that into your hand. It's basically a free 1/3 body in a deck which has a lot of instant sorceries, and you want that. You want that. It's very, very good. It's good for the early turns. It has good body. I mean, against mono red, mono white, mono blue. Maybe not mono blue, but anything else. Very good at. Aven Eternal. 2 colors and 1 blue. When it enters battlefield, amass 1. Awakening of Vitu-Ghazi. 3 colors, 2 green. Put 9 +1/+1 counter on target land you control. It becomes a legendary... Oh, it's an instant. It was a legendary 0/0 elemental creature token with haste named Vitu-Ghazi. Still a land. So... I could actually say this being played. Because it's an instant. An instant makes this a million times better. Because this way you can haste kill someone. You can play this and then you can have something to follow this up the turn after. You can play this and you can block something. If you have a 6 mana, you can put this on a land and you can use that land to block their creature if they're attacking in. Yeah, this could see play. Definitely excited to brew around this card. Definitely excited Also, if you think about it, it's very good to have two of them. First I thought, well, it's horrible to have two of them because it turns them into a legendary. Yeah, but then the next time you play Awakening of Gitu, let's say you play this end of your opponent turn and you have another in hand. Then you attack in for 18 on your next turn. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, this will see play. I don't know exactly how to brew run this, but this just seems too strong of an effect not to see play. Next card, Band Together. Yes, I know I read this card wrong. It's not 2 creatures fight, it's 2 creatures deals damage equal to the power to non-target creature, but I still think, since the mana cost is 3, that it's too steep and that it won't see play. Even though it's a cute effect, must say. Must say it's unique and cute. Banehound, 1 black, a lifelink haste. This creature, I wished this was pushed a little bit more, but it's nice to see lifelink haste on a 1/1. We've never seen that before. I think the only way this works is with a lot of equipment. It's, for instance, pretty good with Sealed Sword of Valeron. You can just turn 4, equip this immediately, and you have 5 power on the board with lifelink and haste and all that. So, but except for that, there's not much equipment supporting us here. So, this was an equipment heavy set, and this might have seen played, but no, not with what we got going here. Battlefield promotion, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. That creature gains first strike until end of turn. You gain 2 life. No. Bioessence Hydra. Okay. 3 colors, blue and green. Trample, Bioessence Hydra enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each loyalty counter on planeswalkers you control. Okay, so you have a lot of weird planeswalkers which enter with like 7 loyalty and stuff. So you can actually get this guy on the battlefield as something like an 11/11 trample. Whenever one or more loyalty counters are put on planeswalker you control, put that many +1 counters on Hydra. Okay, so this guy can probably finish the game in 1 turn when you get him in, because there's so many weird planeswalkers with insane amount of loyalty on them nowadays. So we can probably get this as almost like a 20/20. The problem is that well, it's probably going to be amazing against all the red decks, of course, because they're not going to be able to deal with the Bioessence Hydra. But it's not going to be good against anyone who's running black removal, because then this guy will just die. But because if red is the color to beat, and if there's a lot of red decks running around, then this could actually work. The problem also is that it comes down at turn 5, which is when probably mono red has already won. 2 things speaking against this guy, but I mean, he could come in as a 20/20 and kill your opponent, so there's that. Blast Zone, enters battlefield with a charge counter on it, add 1 colorless, XX, put X charge counters on Blast Zone, and then 3 and sacrifice Blast Zone, destroy each non-land permanent with convert mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Blast Zone. So there's a couple of things you can do with this, of course. You can proliferate if you have proliferate for free. For instance, let's say you play this in the Karn deck that I talked about, and you proliferate end of turn, and next turn you blow up your Blast Zone. Good. So it works in that style of deck, and I think now that I've seen all the cards, that deck will definitely be a thing, because there's so many cards supporting it. Lands cards especially. So many good land cards for the almost colorless archetype. The artifact and the Tesseract archetype. So I think this will see. I will definitely play. No doubt about it. Then there's also cute things you can do with this, of course, as remove a counter from it with the green, with the black blue card, which draws your card. And yeah, there's some stuff you can do with this. Bleeding Edge, 1 colorless and 2 black. Up to 1 target creature gets -2/-2. Amass 2. Almost good enough to play in a Amass deck, but I think 3 mana is still too steep. It would have been needed to be 2 mana, I think. Blind Blast, 2 colors, 1 red. It is 1 damage target creature. That creature can't block this turn. Draw a card. No. Bloom Hulk, when it ends the battlefield, proliferate. No. Bolas' Citadel! Finally, we're gonna take a sipper on it. Finally! Finally we're talking Bolas' Citadel. Some black. black magic here. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its current mana cost rather than paying its mana cost. So this is what I talked about earlier. The Ajani Grey Tartar, for instance. Play it probably green, white, black. Have a lot of cards that gain you life, like Night of Autumn and stuff like that. And just play everything from your top of your library until you hit 2 lands in a row. This is like a experimental frenzy where you don't need to pay mana if all your cards gain you life. And you can set it up so that everything gains you life. So you can probably go net plus life with Bolas the Citadel in a deck built around it. And it will be amazing in that deck. Absolutely amazing. I will definitely build around this. And there's more to come. We don't need to spend too much time on this card because you will see it. 100% you will see it improve around this card. Bolt Bend. 3 colorless and 1 red. This spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a creature or play. Creature with power 4 or greater, change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. I talked about this earlier. I know some of you love this. I think this is horrible. It costs too much. The chance of this costing less never happens, as we've seen before. All these effects with power 4 or greater never work. There's so many cards which has this if you have a creature with power 4 or greater, but it never happens that you have a creature with power 4 or greater, so it's never, those cards are never played. Tap all creatures your opponents control. Creatures you control gain lifelink until that turn. I love lifelink, but not one turn lifelink, no. Bond of Flourishing. 1 colorless, 1 green. Look at top card. 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order you gain 3 life. Yeah, it's a decent card, honestly. You gain 3 life and you find a land, most likely. Or something else, I don't know. I would use this to find lands and gain life. Yeah, could even work in my Gates deck. Fine card. Bond of Insight. 3 colors, 1 blue. Each player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard, then return up to 2 instant and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Exile Bond of Insight. Oh! Oh! Okay, so now we have a way of winning with my Omniscience deck very easily. So what you could do with Bond of Insight is that you could have... Let's see. You have Mastermind's Acquisition. You search for Omniscience. You play Omniscience. You play Masterminds for free. Then you have 4 Bond of Insight in your sideboard. And you play Bond of Insight. So you search Mastermind's Acquisition, play it for free since you have Omniscience on. Search for Bond of Insight. It goes to your graveyard. You repeat this 4 times. We'll put 4 cards of our library into our graveyard. So in total we're gonna put 16 cards. So if there's 1 more Mastermind's Acquisition, we're at some point gonna be able to return 2 Mastermind's Acquisition. Then we're gonna be able to search for a... let's see here. Then we're gonna be able to search for a 1000 Year Storm and the card which halves your opponent's life total, and then cast that and then just win. It's a very, very easy way to win in an Omniscience deck. So for that reason, I do love this card. Yeah, you just need Omniscience and Masterminds and you win. With Bond of Insight, like, very, very likely. Very, very likely. Especially if you have something like Flood of Recollection also in that deck. Then, yeah, and you certainly won. Have those 2 cards. Bond of Passion. 4 colorless and 2 red. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. On top of that creature, it gains haste. Bond by at least 2 damage on target. Yeah, it's horrible. We already have Hijack for 3 mana. And yeah, this costs 6 mana. Bond of Revival. Here is actually a good card. I'm looking forward to return boars from my graveyard. Boars and Sakamas. The new red boar. More specifically, return target creature card from a graveyard until the battlefield. It gains haste until your next turn. So what I want to do with this is I want to have Sakama and I want to have or maybe Sakama, maybe some other, some good big creature, maybe Nimisset, I don't know, something good. And then the boar, which whenever it attacks you put something into play. And then that's pretty amazing. Either you return your boar from your graveyard and put something from your hand into play, or you return that big creature that you would have put in with the boar from. Yeah, it's just amazing. There will be a reanimator deck coming in War of the Spark. Bulwark Giant, 5 colors and 1 white. When it enters battlefield, you gain 5 life. I already talked about this, it's not amazing. Burning Prophet is 1 color, 1 red. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Burning Prophet gets +1/+0 until end of turn, then scry 1. Yeah, I talked about this earlier. It's a decent card for what it's worth. It's a 1/3 for 2, which is good. You can buff this up a lot, and you can also scry a lot, which are both relevant abilities. I'm a little bit concerned that the scry will take too long in Arena, but other than that, I think it's a solid card. May see play. Weird that it's even a common. Surprisingly good in the common slot for a constructed deck, I would say. Callous Dismissal, 1 colors and 1 blue. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Mass 1. I don't know. Aztecs wants to play this, but maybe. But it's decent for them because it makes them able to deal with any permanent, and you also get a little bit of a mass to get a little bit of value. Maybe. Or not. Casualties of War. Immediately when I saw this, I thought about Cruel Ultimatum. Cruel Ultimatum, I even got it up here. Was very, very good. Oh. But it costs a lot of mana. It costs, let's see here, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It costs 7 mana. This costs 6. That card was, target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, then loses 5 life. You return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, and gain 5 life. If you compared that Cruel Ultimatum that we had to Casualties of War looks not so good. Sure, you can destroy an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker, and haven't I said that usually they only have 1 creature or planeswalker? Yes, I have, and it will probably deal with a lot of board states where there's 1 creature and 1 planeswalker out, maybe an enchantment, so it deals with a lot of board states, but I don't know for 6 mana. It doesn't really deal with every board. Is it good enough? I mean, if you're up against a deck with only creatures in it, that's not gonna do anything. I mean, you're gonna, you know, kill 1 creature, but that's about it. Not good against mono red, not good against... It's good against mono blue if you can get it off, but probably dead before then. You're probably dead against mono red also. Mono white is decent against, they have a few enchantments, Histrobinalis and stuff. But I doubt it. Nah, this needed to be choose 1 or more and then like gain 5 life or something. Like something to keep you alive when you're at 6, when you're paying 6 mana for this. 3 colors, 1 green. When Centaur Nurture enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. That's nice. And 1 mono any color, which is, yeah, horrible. Chain Whip Cyclops, 4 colors and 1. Next. Chandra Fire Artisan, 2 colors, 1 red. Oh, 2 red, I should say. Whenever 1 or more loyalty counters are removed from Chandra Artisan, she deals that much damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Oh, planeswalker also, that's good. Exile the top card of your library, you may play it this turn. So you get 1 Experimental Frenzy trigger off. And -7, exile the top 7 cards of your library, you may play them this turn. I think Mon Red has just better cards in the form of Experimental Frenzy, if you're looking for this effect. I don't really see, if you would have played it for free then it would have been good, but you don't. Also, the effect can only target opponents or planeswalkers, so it doesn't seem highly relevant. Let me know in the comment section if you like this card. For me it's a miss. Next card, Chantress Pyro Helix. 1 colors, 1 red. It's 2 damage, divided to choose among 1 or 2 targets. No. Chantress Triumph. It's 3 damage target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. It's 5 damage to that permanent instead if you control a Chandra's planeswalker. No. I mean, it's an instant that can deal 3 damage, but we already have better effects. I don't know. Why wouldn't you say play Lightning Strike? The only reason... So if you play Chandra. If you play Chandra, then maybe. If you're a Chandra deck, then yes. No. I mean, it's a 1/1 lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+ counter for each other creature you control, named sharp. But you can only have 4! Damn it! It's an unlimited card where you can get more than 4 1 cards. Sure. Commander Dreadhorde. 4 colors, 2 black. Choose any number of target creature and or planeswalker cards in graveyards. Commander Dread Horde deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Put them onto the battlefield under your control. So I read this card, and I don't know how it works. It's either decent or it's horrible. Those are the two options. If you can return them and the triggers go onto the stack on top of the you that deals damage to you, then it's decently good. Because then you can return like Pelaka worms and stuff like that from a graveyard and can just regain all the life that you would have that you would lose from playing them. But if this does not work that way, and you take the damage first and then you gain the Pelaka life, which means you die before, because it's, I think checking for death is a state-based effect, doesn't matter if there's things on the stack. That means you lose, and then I can't see any way of making this really work. So, I mean, it's not good to reanimate something and lose life for 6 mana. It's horrible. So it needs to be that it works the way I hope that works, that those triggers goes on the stack and then you lose life equal to those cards. We'll see. If it works like that, then sure, put a lot of Pelaka worms and other creatures which gain you life, and you can play this safely. Yeah, because then you can just target everything. Just mill yourself a couple of turns and just come on the Dreadhorde and boom, you have an entire board out. But I doubt that's how it works. Commence the end game. Wasn't this? Have we been through this? I don't remember. 4 colors, 2 blue. This spell can't be countered. Draw 2 cards, then amass X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. I think this is decent in an amassed deck. It's good because it can't be countered, so even though it costs 6 mana, it will resolve. You will draw 2 cards, you will amass X. You'll probably have something like maybe 2 other cards in your hand. So you'll probably amass 4 and draw 2 cards, and that's fine for 6 mana. Since it can be countered and since it's an instant, might work in an amass deck. Next card. Contentious Plan. 1 colors, 1 blue, proliferate, draw a card. Yeah, as I said multiple times, Proliferate is only good if you can do it many times, as it seems like in the standard metagame now. So 1 time will not be enough. Urge in Crisis. 2 colors, 1 green, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then Proliferate. No, not enough. Cruel Celebrant. 1 white, 1 black. When Cruel Celebrant or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Oh, it's getting dark. Well, I've been at this for so long that it's getting dark outside. Wow, how long will this video be? 3 hours! Oh my god, I probably need to split this up into 2 or something. Okay, whenever Cruel Element or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's decent in a Mardu Aristocrats, but I don't think it's that super duper amazing. Crush Descent. 3 colors, 1 blue, counter target spell unless the controller pays 2. Amass 2. I don't think that even an amass deck wants this. It's too expensive. Counter something. Cyclops Electromancer. 4 colors, 1 red. When enters the battlefield, deals X damage target creature and opponent controls where X is number of instant sorcery cards in graveyard. This is like a Beacon Bolt for 5. I don't think it will replace Beacon Bolt. The body is hardly relevant. Next card. Davril Rogue Shadowmage. 2 colors and 1 black. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent... If that player... let's see. Beginning of each opponent's upkeep. If that player has 1 or more fewer cards in hand, it deals 2 damage to them. So that's very good to have that effect, which deals damage to them all the time. And works against all the aggressive decks who just, you know, lose their hand very quickly. On the other hand, they will probably kill him immediately, so we'll only get rid of 1 card and will not deal any damage to them, so it's... I don't know. I love the art. Very Star Wars-y. We'll have to brew something around this. Davril's Shadowfuge. 3 colors and 1 black. Target player discards 2 cards and loses 2 life. No, can never work. Death Sprout. 1 colors, 2 black, 1 green. Destroy target creature. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. I talked about this earlier, and I think it's a decent card. And I think it could definitely work in a deck which ramps into something for 6 mana. which there are a lot of good targets. For instance, the Immortal Sun comes to mind. One of the cards I love, because you can play this on turn 4. End of their turn, kill a creature that they have, which probably makes the board clear. You get your fifth land from Death Sprout, and on your 6th, let's see, 5th turn, you play your 6th land, and then you have enough for Immortal Sun, and you seal the deal with that. That's pretty good. Good. Yeah, that could work. Could work. Defiant Strike, 1 white. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Draw a card. Deliver unto evil. We've done them all. Just took 3 hours. Thank you so much for sticking with me through these, through all these cards, and also thank you for all the support on the channel. We're still growing, quick, and it's just amazing. We're soon about to hit 8,000 subscribers. That's amazing. Yeah, see you tomorrow for more arena gameplay.